was frozen in the stream of tears. They still think of the past. And to many fullness, and day after day. Misery, and to many fullness, and day after day. Your passion, take it from me.
Woo. What is good, people? It is the KOA
Hello.
podcast. I am Sasuke the Savage. He is everything animated. We are here tonight to talk about spring 2025 anime and possibly kill or pass one of them at the very least. What is good, people?
Hello. We're on a new day. We're on a new time. We're giving this a try because, well, let's just say my work hours have changed. But I think this is going to be better in the long run. And welcome, everybody who's in here. If you're new, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that wonderful stuff. We are the King of Anime podcast. So we're going to tear into this big juicy banquet because we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, this podcast is jam-packed with a lot of episodes. I think 9 in total. 2 if I'm one Lazarus episode, 2 Rocket's Ladies Modest episode, 2 Apocalypse Hotel episodes, 1 Ranger Reject, and 3 Future Diary.
That's 9.
That's 9. So we have a lot to cover, and not that much time. But with the schedule change, hopefully this will be better for a lot of people because we won't be streaming until midnight. I know that's probably inconvenient for a lot of people. But yeah. So if you're unfamiliar with how this podcast works, if you're new here, as somebody passes by playing loud ass music.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I don't. If you're unfamiliar with the format, what we do is we choose anime to cover from the specific season, this being the spring 2025 season, and we, watch those shows. We give it about 25% of how many, episodes it's supposed to have. If it's 12, 3 episodes, and that's when we determine if we're going to pass or kill the show. Passing and killing the show means if we pass it, we keep watching it on the podcast. If we kill it, we drop it. Maybe we'll replace it with something, maybe we won't, but that's pretty much the nature of the podcast. And thus far we haven't killed anything, but who knows, that could change tonight because one show is up for a killer pass, that being Rocket's Ladies Modesty. So yeah, that's how everything works.
Yes, Decrepit Storm is here. A while ago, we had a thumbnail about the best anime episode ever of FMA, and now we have this title. Perfectly balanced, as everything should be, as old Thanos once said.
What is good, Decrepit Storm? Yeah. I wonder what episode I'm referring to with the title like that. It's a mystery. But
yeah,
you guys are going to find out. I mean, could it be Lazarus? Could it be Ranger Reject? It's certainly not Future Diary, but it could be Rocket's Ladies Modesty, or maybe Apocalypse Hotel. Maybe we just got tired of it. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe we just got real fed up with a bunch of shit.
Yeah. We like to keep you guys in the dark, but one thing we won't keep you in the dark with, and in tandem, something that I'm hoping will uplift my mood. I'm pretty sure EA knows what it is.
Oh yes, I got something to never give you the blues.
Now let's get ready for the KOA.
It's Miracle!
All right, and as always, I don't know why that's even a tagline because it's always bad news to start off for whatever reason. One Punch Man manga is to take a 2-month break. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you've been keeping up with One Punch Man, EA, but I have fallen off a cliff. I haven't read it in months.
I got to the part where Supersonic was fighting Lightning Speed or whatever the guy was, and I think that was about as far as I got. Because then they started doing redraws, and I was like, oh god. And when they start doing redraws, they got to start all over again, and you're just like, you know what? So yeah, I kind of took a break too, just because of redraws.
Yeah.
Might as well just wait till it's done.
That's been the bane of the One Punch Man community ever since, I would say, the Monster Association arc. It really got bad in there. And it really hurts your weekly, or not weekly experience, but your up-to-date experience with the manga, because it is very jarring to read something and then that whole thing be retconned, and it's like, all right, and then you might lose your memory about what's the new linear story and what was the thing that was here before. It just becomes a big mess. I think things as far as this ninja arc have really been butchered. A lot of people haven't been happy with it in the community. That's why I haven't been live reacted to it on my channel, because I usually live react to One Punch Man chapters. But hopefully this break does a lot of good for Yusuke, Murata, and One. Hopefully they come together. When they come back, it's the One Punch Man we grew to love. No redraws, just just great art, comedy, great story.
Because once we got to a certain point, when it was like galaxies fighting and shit, that's when we were like really, really good when it comes to One Punch Man. It was just like consistent for a while. But then, yeah, it got to the, gotta do redraws. Ninja arc. And it was cool. It had some interesting stuff too, because it was talking about like a different, like, monster fighting society and how they were kind of like recruiting, almost like a WWE AEW scenario going on. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then now all that's just kind of like on hold. And I agree. They need to get. I know Yusuke Murata. He draws whatever One tells him, but One, get your stuff together. Get your stuff together to have them make some beautiful art. And also, hello Trayvon. Welcome on into the stream. Are you muted? I can't hear you.
I'm not muted.
Yeah.
You just can't hear me. I'm talking in a whole different frequency.
For dogs, I guess.
I was saying, for people who are watching, or for people who may watch the VOD of this, we have viewer questions. You guys can ask us questions and we'll answer it next podcast. It is always in the description of the video, so check that out. Also, if you're watching and if you have not liked the video, we don't like you. So if you want to get on, our good list, like the video right now, share it, tell people about it, and yeah. But in other news, ReZero Season 4 is to air next year, 2026, which is a lot faster than, I'm pretty sure, a lot faster from Season 1 to Season 2, or Season 2 to Season 3. So
I think it is, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I know we took forever when it was Season 1 to Season 2. God, I wanted a Season 2 yesterday when Season 1 came out. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have waited. Season 2 was okay. You said 3 was good, though?
I only watched 5 episodes of 3, so I didn't finish it, but it was good from what I was seeing of it.
Okay.
It was focusing on some of the characters I wanted, or let me be honest, it focused on a character I was really excited about.
Priscilla.
So maybe.
Oh boy. Cool.
So, yeah. Yeah. That's next year. So mark your calendars. Now this, maybe you would know, or maybe you would add more to this. Death Stranding is to have an animation in the works. Now, whether that's going to be an anime, we don't know if it's going to be
What?
from a Japanese studio or not, but yes, that is having some type of
Hideo
animation.
Kojima?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, this is Hideo Kojima who we're talking about. So the man, I don't know. Like some people like to look at him as a visionary. Some people maybe overrated. I think he's maybe a little bit of both. But overall, I was not a fan of Death Stranding. I know this was kind of like a response to the fact that they were originally going to make a Silent Hill game. And remember how they made that playable teaser called PT?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like showcasing what the new Silent Hill was going to be, and was going to have Guillermo del Toro attached to it, and it had the main guy who eventually became in Death Stranding. So, I guess it's just one of those weird things where it was like, what could have been if Hideo Kojima could have made a Silent Hill game, but we never got that. And instead we got babies being delivered in wars. I don't know. It was fucking weird.
I've not played Death Stranding myself, so all my information on the game comes from external forces. But everybody that's played the game that I know that has talked about it has said that game was boring as hell. He called it an Amazon worker
walking simulator.
Yeah, they called it an Amazon worker sim. I've never heard any good thing about Death Stranding. So
Yeah.
I don't know how anime or animation will work for it.
I mean,
The funny part is it may end up better just because you're not playing a walking simulator.
it could very well be like a cyberpunk type thing where they make cyberpunk edge runners and it does the game justice and it like makes it even better. Who knows? Especially if they have all the voices like Norman Reedus and all those other guys to be in it. It could be very well done, but I don't know. The only reason I say I don't know is because I don't know what the game's about. The game is literally just out there. But Metal Gear Solid, he's always been the man for that.
Yeah. Well, unless you have any news to add, EA, that's all I got.
You know what? To be honest, I didn't look up any news. As I was telling Sasuke before I started here, I was sick for the longest time. I'm just now finally starting to get better. It's my son graduated. I watched him walk. I did the cheering and everything else, and I watched a shitty anime, which I guess got me the sickness. So I'm not going to point any fingers. Diary, but it's hinted very much at the title. But other than that, no news for me. Instead, I guess let's get right into the 2025 spring season anime, because we do seasonal anime here. And let's talk about Lazarus, episode 8. And thank you, Decrepit Storm. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think this episode was a return to form. This was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. What about you? What are your thoughts about it? Did you like this one?
I have conflicting thoughts about this episode. All right. I will say, I want to address this. You were right on the money last podcast about Chris, and they gave her a name. I did not write it down. I'm sorry.
It's like some Russian name, like Zhrepatania or whatever. I don't know. Let's just call her Black Widow.
There you go, Black Widow. So okay, where do we begin? So essentially, this whole episode is a rescue mission. We have Chris, who is kidnapped by her old, we'll find out to be her old crew, which is like these like Russian thugs basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they take her back, and they're pissed off. One guy is just wailing on her the entire time. He specifically is very, very emotional about everything.
Yeah, he is. It's like, you're a traitor to the motherland. Yeah, well, you're a traitor to them shoes. What?
I just kept wondering, why was he the guy that was watching over her? I'm like, this guy can't handle responsibility, and he just doesn't listen. I don't think he should be watching her. Maybe you should make him, I don't know, like be on guard duty or something.
I agree. Even the guy that was like supposed to keep rein in the reins with him, was like, maybe he wants to keep her alive. Maybe you should. Well, I tried, and then just kind of walks away.
Yeah.
He's very, very heavy-hearted, and just, I want to beat the shit out of this woman.
He really wanted to beat. I mean, he did beat the shit out of her.
He slapped her a good couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, he literally just tossed her while she was still in the chair across the room.
Mm-hmm. He slammed her a few times in the chair, like she was hogtied to the chair, and just grabbed her and just flipped her with one hand. I was like, whoa.
I don't know what's going on in that dude's life, but that brother needs some help.
He had to have loved her. And then when it broke his heart whenever she was like, no, I like her instead. I'm happy for you. And then she leaves and betrays the whole group, and yeah, that was it. No one was going to be happy after that.
Yeah, just crashed out. So yeah, Chris gets kidnapped, and we find out Chris isn't even Chris. Her real name is Alexandra. And she was, like I said, a Russian spy. And while working for this group, something happened, and she literally died. Like, she flatlined. But once she gained life again, she decided to change her name and just start over a new life. She got plastic surgeries, and but even with all of that, what we find out was her former girlfriend was able to still identify her. And yeah, we're going to talk more about that relationship specifically, but a big part of this episode was just Lazarus coming together as a group to save someone that they seemed to love, because they were willing to disobey orders from Hirsch, who told them to just hang back initially. But, they were like, hell no, we're going to save Chris. And, it didn't even Hirsch gave her support after they made their decision.
Yeah, I'm going. Me too. I ain't staying. Bye. And then even Leland was like, I'm just gonna see ya. And just kept walking.
Leland was the one who kept bringing up Chris, because they initially were all focused on Hirsch and her relationship with Dr. Skinner, because Doug pulled the receipts about her and Dr. Skinner working together back in the past. And, that was everybody's focus, but Leland was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Where's Chris?
Anybody know where Chris is? Everybody's just quiet.
Also,
Chris?
We officially got her age, which it was 27 to 28, because all right. I don't know if we knew the date. We probably do know the date. I don't like the month and day, but yeah, she was born 2025, and the show is set in 2052. So yeah,
there you go.
Hope my math is right, but yes, 27, 28 is her age.
So she wasn't that much older than the rest of them, and she was acting like she was a decrepit old man or something.
Well, yeah, it's probably just because 40. She is the oldest in Lazarus.
Yeah.
So
Oldest and has the most money apparently to buy all those facial reconstructive surgeries.
or she used her womanly charms to get him.
The new face.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey
Like,
there, big boy. How
what
would
is-
you like to turn this into a 10?
I mean that could have happened for all I know.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. She should charm her way into a Brazilian butt lift. She has zero ass.
I mean, she should, maybe. Maybe that's the next step.
That's the next thing. It's like, I know you guys, and we have this important thing going on called the, end of the world, and we got to stop Dr. Skinner with Lazarus, or Hopna and whatnot, but I want to get my butt done.
Hey, as soon as we say it today, maybe, how Lazarus are getting, they're getting their sentence decreased and everything. I mean, maybe that's on the bucket list too. Like, I want a BBL. I want 10 years shaved off my sentence. Hey, it's the least they could do for saving the world.
Exactly. That's the thing that you see at the very end. It's just Chris with a big ass. What did you want? Guess what I got?
Oh, but so yeah, the gang goes to they go to Russia to save Chris. They all have their own roles. Leland has his gadgets, and he's on a ship disguised as the Glacier, which I thought was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
It was like neat.
Elena's doing her thing, trying to hack into she actually does hack into some of the boats machinery using the crane and some other stuff, kind of giving surveillance. And you have Axel, who is just like, the front man. He just goes in there and he's actually looking for Chris on the boat. And then you have Doug, who's also on the boat, who, my God, his aim is insane. He was on a moving boat hitting headshots. I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, I didn't know his aim was like that.
You ain't got nothing on this guy.
No.
He is literally like, I don't know what you would call it, like the lone sniper. If you needed somebody up in the watchtower to cover your back, that's him.
Yes. I don't even think he had a sniper either. Like the gun he had no scope.
It was, and that's even more crazy when you think about it. He's just not hip firing, but it's just like an open scope where it's just we line up the two little beads and whatever, and just getting headshots off a moving boat.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is insane. Elena was over at the home base. I love it when stuff like this happens in any kind of show or whatnot, but like everyone all of a sudden became her best friend because of how amazing she was at hacking, and they were just like, ooh.
Yeah, and then one thing you kept seeing was like the amount of people interested, became more prevalent in the background, because at first it was kind of just like a few people, and then it was like more, and then it was like by the time we got to the end of the episode, like the whole room was filled with people cheering for her.
Yeah, that was great. I love that, where she's just like, all right, Axel's got Chris, we're in, and everybody's just like, yeah, high-fiving, hugging each other.
Yeah, they were watching. That was their Super Bowl.
I mean, heck, you're up in Antarctica or wherever the fuck they were for so long. I mean, that would be something that you would just lose all kinds of patience. That would be like your guys' Super Bowl, just because you're just like so bored.
Well, yeah. Let's stop bullshitting. Let's talk about Chris and all her glory in this episode. How did you feel about
BBL?
No, not about her BBL. How did you feel about Chris's plot line in this episode?
Chris's plot line. I mean, it definitely felt like it was kind of both reserved and rushed. Like, we see that she's playing piano with somebody. It's quite obvious who she's playing piano with. We know that they're in love. Do we know why they're in love? They just kind of are.
Mhm.
I mean, as much as we shit on other shows, at least some of them have an interesting backstory to where we find out why they're in love. This one, they're just in love because they are. I mean, I'm trying to remember what they even said to kind of like make it seem like how they known each other. It's like they were both in the same syndicate or whatever, and then they just, what did you do? You held the door open for me, and thus I am in love with you. And as quickly as we saw that they were in love, it was like over in 2 seconds because of what happened at the very end. And that was just kind of like, oh, well, that happened. And then when that one thing happened, Chris was just kind of like, with her hands, just doing that. And I'm like, is that supposed to mean something? So, it wasn't the best, I guess, to say the least.
Okay, so for me, this should have been a 2-parter. This should have been a 2-episode plot. I feel as we get closer to the end for Lazarus, I'm starting to feel the constraints make the story not as polished as it should be. Because even, okay, and here's my thing. I like the fact that Lazarus, like all of Lazarus, went to go save Chris. I like that. But I felt like there should have been more moments of them hanging out with each other, showing more of a friendly relationship. Like, you remember the one moment where Elena gets in bed with Chris, and you know, we like that moment, kind of showing that they have a budding bond. I feel like we should have had more of that with the entirety of the group. I feel like when the entire group goes against Hirsch and they go after Chris, it doesn't feel like that dynamic between all of them and Chris was apparent, clear, or, you know, fleshed out enough for us to really feel that impact of, you know, them seeing her as a friend, because obviously that's what they would have to view her as if they were willing to forsake orders to go after her. I actually think things would have maybe worked out better if maybe someone like Leland or Elena, who are more like the naive people of the group, would be gung-ho to go after her because they just think it's obvious. While you have someone like Doug and Axel, who are like, you know, they're older than those two, they kind of push back and go, we want to save Chris, but we're putting ourselves at risk, because the whole stakes of this whole thing was setting off World War III because of, you know, the obvious relations between the United States and Russia, you know. So
yeah,
I think things would have been better if there was the group didn't move as a monolith, and instead there was pushback. Because then I feel there would have been like some conflict of, do we see Chris as a valued member of the group, or do we see Chris as a friend? What do we value the most? The fact that they all kind of just see her as a friend, despite us not really seeing much of everybody's individual relationship with her, I feel like, again, it didn't feel earned to me. I wish there was more time in between it. Like, this episode would have been fine if there were more episodes before that gave us the feeling that this is more like a found family. Because to me, they don't feel like that to me.
Okay. I definitely think we're probably, what was said?
Look at what the Griffin store says. The Griffin store said, so Sasuke, you're saying there should have been moments with the whole group in bed together? That is exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, I like the show, but it's been underwhelming, and I can't feel anything for the characters, and I want to find out about Skinner already. So I'm of the mindset that I feel as if this was a series that had a set amount of episodes, 12, 13, whatever it is. And I feel like Shinichiro Watanabe works better with twice the amount because everything he's ever done, Cowboy Bebop, Carol and Tuesday, and even Samurai Champloo have all been like 25, 26 episodes, and they're all fleshed out.
You're exactly right. And the thing is too, he needs the filler episode. Like, and when I say filler episodes, we're not talking about what
Hardcore.
Oh, we're not talking about hardcore. We're not talking about hardcore. When I say filler episodes, I mean episodes that don't necessarily advance the plot, but it gives us
like
more.
The last episode before this one.
Yeah. Where we get like more of the character dynamics and just sitting with the characters more. That helps a lot when it comes to our feelings on these characters, because I feel what Trayvon is saying, because honestly speaking, although I am still very interested to see where the story goes, I don't feel for these characters the way I feel like I should. You know, we go to those series you're talking about, those Shinichiro Watanabe series. You look at Cowboy Bebop. Man, we had Spike, we had Faye, I'm just naming the main characters, obviously, but I felt for those characters like Jet, Ed, Faye. I felt for them. You go to Samurai Champloo. I cared about Jin, I cared about Mugen, I cared about Fu. You go to Carol and Tuesday, I cared about Carol and Tuesday. I cared about Gus. I cared about a slew of characters, Angie. I feel like but yeah, like you said, those series had the appropriate amount of episodes to tell the story that it wanted to tell. And now we've had, with Carol and Tuesday, because that's the only one that we talked about at length other than Kids on the Slope, but that wasn't 26 episodes. But
yeah, I feel like that was an adaptation because it was already based off of manga.
Yeah,
he was just adapting it. But yeah,
we've had our complaints with some of the episodes where we felt like, oh, this is not necessary or whatever. But I think again, it gave it the appropriate amount of episodes to breathe and for us to really feel for these characters. It feels like it's this weird thing where, I don't know, sometimes it feels like some episodes it feels like the plot is outrunning the characters, and sometimes the characters are outrunning the plot. It never is like this good synchronization of, all right, we got the appropriate amount of character development, character growth, wherever it may be, in plot. It's like it has to choose one or the other. And I think what the beauty of most Shinichiro Watanabe series is that you would get both. Even if you weren't advancing the plot a lot, you would get something else to compensate for it. Whereas here, it seems like with one thing going forward, something has to completely halt, because this episode does not advance the plot whatsoever. Like, not a millimeter.
Yeah, not really at all. But yeah, I almost have a feeling like this is going to be a rushed series. I mean, I think we had this discussion when we were talking about it back with episode 4 or 5 or whatever it was, when we were like, okay, we're doing a lot of these extra episodes and the time is ticking when it comes to finding Skinner and, finding that cure. Last we checked, we're at, I think, 14 days now. So we're at the 2-week mark. And we're nowhere close to finding where this man's at. We had 30 days, and now we're past the halfway point now. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I almost feel the series may suffer because of that, because of how rushed it is. Even with all the negative stuff I'm saying, I still enjoyed this episode overall.
Yeah.
The action was fun. Like, the choreography was there once again that we haven't seen in a while. The action scenes were cool, just cool. Even, like I said, if it seemed like some characters died off rather quickly for no reason other than to show how much she loved that character. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like they could have done something way different. And overall, it was fun. It was fun, but rushed.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we didn't even get Chris and much of her former lover interacting in the episode. All we really got was the initial thing of her being captured, her talking a little bit, and then what we got at the end. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I guess it's cool that Chris had this former life and, you know, she wanted to change herself, have a new identity, and, you know, she forsake that life. But with the romance plot specifically, we didn't really get much from that. And it's like, what, why did it even exist? If it was out of the story, what does it really change this episode?
I mean, if you remove this episode, the only thing that we know is they got back from scuba diving, and that was all that was.
Yeah, I felt like this should have been a two-parter. We should have had Chris get captured. You know, maybe this episode is where, you know, and this is when I say two-parter, this is with the idea that this series is longer. I understand it can't be a two-parter because we only have 13 episodes, but that's part of the problem. Maybe this plot shouldn't have existed in the first place if we only had 13 episodes. At the end of the day, this is an anime original, so it's not like it's being constricted with, you know, the episode count. I mean, this is the story that they chose to go with. So
Right, they don't have to cut anything out.
yeah,
The story is their story.
yeah. So yeah, there are moments where I'm getting disappointed. I'm still very intrigued. I still like this show. It's just that my expectations going in from it, I feel let down.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a huge letdown. It's, you know, it's like watching Steven Spielberg and then he made Ready Player One, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
What's that?
You made legendary films such as Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T., and all these films, and you go ahead and you make Ready Player One?
You know,
Yeah.
you as a director, you can get held prisoner by your own greatness. And Shinichiro
you
Watanabe
really can.
is experiencing that with Lazarus, because, you know, Cowboy Bebop is one of your favorite shows of all time. Carol Tuesday is one of my favorite shows. You know, like I'm pretty sure he holds a lot of weight in our heart when it comes to anime that we enjoy. So we come in here with expectations with his name being attached to this. And then, you know, we have like the John Wick director.
Yeah.
With the
Him
choreography.
there too.
Yeah.
And it, like, and I'm going to be upfront and honest about that too right now. He really didn't need to be involved in this series. And the only reason I say that is because we've had maybe one or two good episodes where the choreography looks smooth and slick. Like that whole episode where they're fighting on top of a club, and it's just like they're disarming people, fights, and doing all that. And the first episode where he's doing parkour, running away, taking down guards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's really cool and looks really great. But then you have the rest of the series where it doesn't really like pertain to anything. It's just like, was he only in like 2 or 3 episodes? It just feels like that's all he was there for. It's like, well, that was fun, guys. Like, if you could like just put it in a span of, it's like, how long were you on the shoot? For like a week? That's all it took. And then he was gone.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. Well, Crepper Storm says, like I said before, it's concerning that the plot isn't advancing with this many episodes left. Yeah.
Yep.
The Crepper Storm said something funny that I didn't read, but where was it? Damn it, where is it? It was something about it was a Russian joke.
Oh, Bum. He was saying something right there. These guys these are the guys behind Vum Rent.
Vum, red. Vum.
The animation for the fights in this episode was great. Yeah, they really were. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's kind of hit or miss at this point. But
next episode is a killer pass. So
to be honest, Last week I was thinking maybe, but it's starting to become more and more relevant now.
Next
To
episode,
where, mm,
it has to it has to impress. Next episode, I'm
this
going
next
to be honest.
episode better be, I don't know, like where Spike meets Vicious the first time, and you're like in the clock tower explosion episode. It better be something like that. The next episode.
Next episode is going to be the filler that I was asking for. It's going to be like them, I don't know, like getting pizzas delivered to them by some unknown person, and they had to figure out who it is, and then come to find out it's just Elaine, and then she's just hungry as hell. She's a glutton secretly. Something stupid.
It's like, what the hell? Sorry, I'm just so hungry. I weigh 80 pounds. Where's it all go? My God.
Well, that is it for Lazarus episode 8. We are going to talk about a pair of episodes when it comes to the next show, which is Rock is a Lady's Modesty, episodes 8 and 9. So, yeah.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Just concerning episode 8, how did you feel?
Episode 8, I know that we were thinking about, we were kind of like seeing how it was going to turn out as far as, Cheryl saying, get this no talent hack out of this band, and what they were going to do. But yeah, basically Tina, kind of, well, Cheryl was laying into her hard, just saying, you got no talent. You ain't got no nipples. You gotta leave. You're just horrible, terrible, and bad. And she's like, okay, you're right. I gotta go. But Lalisa stood up for her. She saw herself in her. And I think that's what kind of like kept her wanting to keep going. Just more story as far as just, please let me try. Oh no, I can't. Blah blah blah. Determination. Yada yada. Mm-hmm. That was fine because then they gave. I don't know why they did this, but they gave her like 5 days to impress, and they did, and she was just like, I guess. Even though at first she was like no, but Otaha, I swear, Cheryl is in love with Otaha.
She is a Otaha simp. It 100%. It shows itself in the next episode too, but Otaha could just say like, yeah, the sky is red, and she wrote like, I agree.
I never thought of it that way, but now that I look at it and squint and close my eyes, it's red.
I think what makes it so funny to me about Shiro being an Ota simp is that she isn't very emotional about it. Like or expressive, I should say. Like she's very like, she still keeps like that cold demeanor. But anytime Ota says something, she's just like, I never thought about it like that.
So essentially, and I don't know music terms. So essentially what I understood when it came to Tina doing the keyboard stuff is that when they all played together, she just kind of like drops some notes and then just fills in parts here and there to kind of make it sound like music. That's essentially what I understood it as.
Yeah, she made it simple for her by decreasing the amount of keys she had to play. So, with less notes, she can really key on what she has to do, and it's easier to remember because it's not as complex. It's the way I think about it is like, because I'm not a musician, but if I think about like Guitar Hero or even like some rhythm game on the PlayStation or whatever, it's essentially like somebody just taking away my X and my swear button. So, or my X and my circle button. So if you do that, it makes it way simpler for me to be able to hit the rhythm because I'm just like, I'm pressing two buttons. So that's the way I thought about it with her.
Yeah. So essentially she's in like Flynn, and it's all thanks to Otaha and Lalisa. Cheryl's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm like the coolest person in this band. She thinks so highly of herself. Like, no doubt. Like, she's playing bass. Not to say that there's wrong with anything playing bass. It's just she thinks she's like the person of the band. She's just like, I'm playing bass and you're gonna have to catch up with me because all of y'all suck except for Otaha. I love her, but everybody else is just garbage.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about like that plot point specifically next episode because that kind of rears his head and whatnot. But yeah, with this episode, this was like really focused on Tina and her growth and Lalisa, training her for those 5 days to try to impress Shiro. And I think ultimately what it showed was that, like you said, Lalisa sees herself in Tina. She really wanted. It's almost like she's trying to keep hope of her past alive because we keep seeing flashbacks of like her mom just looking like the most psychotic person. She looks like she belongs in Future Diary.
She does, but also, did you see what she did?
Yeah, like she just fucking destroys the guitar. Like the strings are just, it's like contorted, like it just got beat up in a Looney Tune cartoon or something. I'm like, damn, what did you do to the guitar? You didn't even like cut the strings. You just like, I don't know, like molested it or something.
She probably took her fucking teeth and was just picking at it, just like, And then when she caught in, she's like, "You don't want to play with this anymore, do you?"
Her mom is the biggest antagonist in the series, and she isn't really much of the series at all. It's so funny.
I know. And when she's in it, she has those eyes, those dead, lifeless eyes. But yeah, she ripped that guitar in half. The strings, anyway.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm hoping we get more from that backstory, but yeah, her mom is really against this, like more so than we thought initially. She really is against this rock and roll stuff.
It's the devil's music. She's one of those.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess Tina goes ahead and she's been part of a band now and feels oh so happy and grateful for everybody to help her be in the band now.
I think what isn't really talked about with this episode is Otaha, because when we first saw Otaha with Lalisa, she's being very, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like selfish and abrasive because she's playing the guitar, she's going crazy, and she afterwards she tells Lalisa how shit she is. With this episode, and it's something that we've been seeing over the course of the series, but I think it's becoming more and more apparent. She really wants to include everybody in her fun. I know I make this comparison a lot with the show, but she truly is exactly like Yumeko Jabami from Kakaguri, because she has like the same deal where she wants to gamble with people and she wants everybody to have fun. Like she doesn't, even though she's very self-centered in the sense that she will forsake like chemistry or synchronization for her own music, or well, if we're using a gamma analogy, for her own pleasure in Kakaguri. She still wants everybody to have fun. She wants everybody to be included in the madness. So it's like she wants to get everybody on her level. So that's kind of what we see with episode 8 with Otaha, because she recognizes that Tina is a novice. So to get her on the same level as far as, okay, she's not as skilled as us, fine. But I still want her to play crazy and be in this weird collaboration with all of us. So let me cut down some of the notes that she has to play and, it'll work out. Like Ota has been silently a great catalyst for Tina's growth as well. Obviously, we attribute Lalisa with most of it, but Ota has been, kind of like, if Lalisa's Tina's mom, then Ota is like the nice auntie. And then Shiro's like the mean I don't know the mean ass
Mean
cousin.
uncle. Oh. Yeah. No, she has been really good. Just kind of like pulling the strings in the background.
Yeah. The store said, which is more accurate to Kakaguri, Bet or Rock His Lady's Modesty? Rock His Lady's Modesty. I literally made that joke. I said Otaha is more accurate to Yumiko's character than than Yumiko in Bet.
Wow. Lisa's guitar was her future diary.
She's out of the game because she destroyed that shit.
Yeah, she did. Shall we skip to the battle of the band? They literally made it to the venue, the green room, whatever.
No. Yeah.
No,
because you're forgetting
there was something else that happened.
First and foremost, people can see the shoujo filters. You know how every time we have like, you know, the girls holding hands and they see like there's the flower background.
Yeah.
There was a character who literally said they could see flowers. So it's a meta canon thing that happens in the story. They can actually see the shoujo filters.
Okay, yeah, and that was at the venue, right? She was walking there, and they saw the flowers, and she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to play tonight." Which, do we find out this episode? No, it was the next episode because she's wearing a trench coat.
Yeah, we don't get to see it.
We don't get to see what's underneath that, but you know, everyone else was looking. Well, one person in particular was looking vom. Holy shit!
It's like the series hurt me. I talked about how this series. I literally talked about how the series didn't have fan service like that, and how it used.
Oh yeah. We'll show you.
Much. I literally talked about how the imagery could be seen as fan service, but it's really to illustrate the bigger point. And the imagery is still used in that manner. But as far as like the fan service thing, they said, fuck all that. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Mr. Sasuke the Savage. We got Tina, we got big boobs, and we putting them in your face. I have no idea why they just went balls to walls with the fan service with Tina. They just said, fuck it. I don't know why. They were doing good up until this point. But with Tina, they just, because it was this episode and the next episode. Yeah, they were. I don't know why are boobs so funny in anime? Like why is that always like a comedy bit?
I mean, it depends on what show there is, I guess. But as far as why is there a bit, I think this particular character, the reason why it's a bit is because she's, you know, has the dueling personalities. She's, you know, looks more mature, and she wears a fucking vest to keep him down. But then, of course, the one time when she wants to not be recognized, she has giant tits because, you know, that's normal. It's with every character that has big boobs. I agree. There's just some sort of bit, like in My Dress Up Darling with what's her face's sister. Just, you know, put on this thing, make yourself seem skinny. Phew! Almost takes out Gojo. I'm sorry. Why? But it's true though.
We were talking about Persona earlier, like off stream, but they do that with a Persona 4 character too, where I guess it's
she got big boobs.
Bigger than most of I won't say like big, but bigger than most of the cast, yes. And it's like they do the exact same thing too, like where it's like this character has boyish good looks, or they were a male, or I'm like that character's obviously a girl.
It has to be a Japanese thing. You know, it's something to do with the comedy of if you look like a male but have boobs. I don't know. It's some kind of comedy thing, because soon as the other bands get there and they see Tina and her boobs, they want to fondle them. They look right at her and go, noobs. boobs.
which is crazy, by the way. But maybe there's just like a disconnect with what we perceive as androgynous and what Japanese people perceive as androgynous. Because when I think of an androgynous character, I'm thinking like, I mean, we watched a series about it, Envy. I'm thinking about Envy from Full Metal Alchemist. That's kind of more of an androgynous character where they don't really have a big chest for you to make that claim, but you kind of hear their voice and you're like, damn, I could kind of see this going either way. I think we both referred to her as a girl, but like,
yeah, her, him, they, yeah, it was just back and forth with Envy. I agree.
Yeah, but yeah. Tina's not one of those characters, so I think the whole because it's the whole contrast. It's like, oh, you expected her to look like this, but she has big balls. It's like it doesn't really work because I'm like, no.
They did that exact same thing with a character in Nezuko. A very shit show, but the one that was like a childhood friend or whatever who we thought was a guy at first, and they have the biggest boobs of them all, and it's just like, I swear it's a Japanese thing. That's is what they do. They just like, isn't that funny? Is it so funny? He looks like a guy and he's got giant tits. Like,
Decrepit Store said, I like how Lalisa's reason for getting Tina to dress like that is totally selfish. Yeah, I mean, I seen like the promotional art for all these characters, so I already knew the outfits that they were going to wear to this performance because I seen the art for all of them like weeks ago. So
I was excited.
Well, no, I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. I think I just looked up the characters and it was just like there, like it was something on Reddit where they had all the promotional art for the characters. It wasn't even like a manga spoiler or anything. It was actually anime art. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So I saw all the outfits, but yeah, Lalisa and Tina both have the same thing with the
tongue.
Yeah,
I swear it's probably the only thing I could think of, and maybe I'm wrong about this. I think it's the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
They used to have that where it was called an album called 40 Licks, and it was just the tongue and the mouth and everything. I'm pretty sure it's a Rolling Stones reference.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I was trying to think of what it was, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, for some reason, Lisa gives her shirt, and yeah, we get big boob jokes because of that.
Yes, because everyone in this series is gay.
Yeah, obviously.
They look at Tina's boobs and they're like, I must feel. Which, ladies in the audience, how honest and how real is that in real life that if you have big boobs, other women want to grab your boobs? I'm just saying.
I feel like that's not a thing. I
don't think it is either.
I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I don't know what happens in women's sleepovers, but I feel like boob fondling is not on the bucket list. Call me, call me homophobic or whatever, but I don't.
And I mean, it's like if you're into that, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, I get that, but I mean, straight women that are just like, oh, look at those boobs, they're so nice. You see that in anime all the time, and I'm just always wondering, like, how real is that?
That's why I said this show is so gay, it is actually homophobic. Because it doesn't actually just let the characters be lesbian, because they obviously are.
Yeah. Oh, wow. She's got enormous cans. Let's just touch them unprovoked and without her consent.
Yeah. They even did the creepy hentai guy. Yeah.
Somebody said something. It was like Otaha was like, "Hey, let's get back into it. Let's talk trash to one another about the band." Oh, right. Forgot. You're going down, yo.
They're not even motivated anymore. They're still just looking at the I'm gonna fucking. Oh,
I'm gonna fucking caress and supple, sweet. No, I'm going to destroy you. You're gonna join our band, and you're gonna love touching the soft.
Gonna pound you into the ground.
The ground. What are we here for again? My God. What has the show devolved into?
Well, episode 9 is a lot more.
Oh my God. Episode 9 is really good.
Yeah. So
Really, really good.
we see Bitter. God, I do not know how to say the name. We see the other band we don't care about perform.
Bitter Ganache?
Maybe.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. They perform their song, and Shiro's being critical of their song because they're playing a love song, which Lalisa points out that she feels like something is missing. And basically we get a confirmation of what is missing, and it's that they don't really have passion in what they're singing because they make the song for the purpose of mass appeal rather than what they truly feel. It's one of those things to where it's like, oh, we need a hit, make a hit, instead of making music that's genuine to you or what you're feeling at the time, because those things really do translate, I feel, sometimes in the way you
I agree.
in a way you perform. So it was something, like I said, Lalisa noticed and Shiro pointed out. So, and obviously that's supposed to work in stark contrast to this band who, no vocals. So it's one of those things to where it's going to be harder for the audience to grab, to evaluate. And we understand the passion they put into it. We're going to talk about it, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like when voice actors phone in a performance, or anyone that phones in anything for that to be honest. Like, there are some movies where you could tell, like, some people, like, I'll just use Samuel L. Jackson as an example. Samuel L. Jackson has been in a shit ton of movies, and you could tell the ones where he's phoned in just to get a money on, which there's one I can think of in particular called The Man. It's such a terrible movie. You ever heard of the movie The Man?
I have not.
Don't ever watch it. It has him. He's supposed to be a cop. And then there's this other guy, Eugene Levy. He's supposed to be known as like I'm just the awkward, weird guy. Anyway, it's a terrible movie. You could tell he's phoning it in the whole time. He doesn't give a fuck about that movie. But then he has other ones when he's with Quentin Tarantino, and he'll put everything behind that performance, and he'll just knock it out of the park.
Let me ask you, off track, but what's your favorite Samuel L. Jackson movie?
Oh, Pulp Fiction. I
Or
love him as Jules.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, I wanted to rephrase it and say, like, what's your favorite performance for him in a movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love him when he's Jules in Pulp Fiction. That is such a great role of his. But if I was to pick one that was a little different, what's the other one? I think it was called A Time to Kill.
Yeah.
Yes, they deserve to die. They should burn in hell.
That was the movie I was gonna name. That performance was great. It really made me, if you've seen that movie, if you haven't seen the movie, you should see that movie. But it really made me feel for him and his decision to do what he did. I was just like, oh, yeah, I was. Oof, that scene is really powerful, especially when the lawyer goes into graphic detail about everything they did to his daughter. Oof, that really moved me.
That
Incredible
whole movie has a star-studded cast. It has
Sandra
Matthew
Bullock,
McConaughey, Kevin Spacey before he turned into a creep. Like Kiefer Sutherland's in it too, and freaking Eric's dad from that 70s show is in it too for some reason. He's like a racist KKK guy. And yeah, there's a lot of people in that movie. But yeah, Sandra Bullock, I remember that. Mickey Mouse.
But back on track, what Decrepit Storm said in the chat, Shiro shouted them with that name. So I don't know if we're going to keep this name or not, but apparently the acting name of this band is Blanc de Noir plus Alpha, which Blanc de Noir is the white of black, which refers to Shiro, and I was just about to call her Yumiko Otaha. While the Alpha part is just the extras being Lalisa and Tina. I thought
Yeah,
it was funny. It was such a stupid name.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like that's definitely some. It's like, oh well, we needed a name, and she looks at it and goes, "I know what you're doing here. This is ridiculous."
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do come up with a name themselves, just because if they do have a name, I want everybody's personalities to be put into it,
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't come up with the idea themselves. Like, I want the name to include everybody. This name technically does include everybody, but from Shiro's warped perspective, and we know how she feels about everybody other than Otaha. To her, Otaha is the only one that exists. So,
Right. Yeah. Speaking of Otaha, we finally got to see what was underneath that trench coat, and everybody was completely shocked. All the bandmates and even her true love Shiro was just like, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" And she's wearing a leather spiked kind of outfit, very punk rockish, and it's from like a very famous. I don't know if it's based off of it. Probably is. Who knows? I'm sure there's a reference to it somewhere, but. Just like one of the best female drummers out there, and she admitted to this. Mm-hmm. This was used on their like going away tour, and she bought it in an auction for 3 million yen.
showing off the money. I respect it.
And she said if she ever was to go ahead and be in a band, her first ever band, that she was going to wear it. And true to her word, she did. So there you go. She's wearing this spiky cleavage midriff showing outfit.
Yeah, I do like Otaha just because she is shameless. She does not care. Like for her is she has an idea of what she wants to do. She doesn't care how she looks. Whereas everybody else may be self-conscious or they'll be thinking about how everybody else will perceive them. When she has something in mind, she's going to go for it.
3 billion yen, that could also pay off Yuki's dad's debt. Also, I like the question before. What would KOA's band name be? So, real shit, C Tactics is the only one that I know that can play an instrument in the whole crew. So he is very musically talented. He can play a triangle, and I can try to sing. I don't know how well. So, I mean, if anything, we'd have maybe no drums. maybe someone could... Or, yeah, we have a triangle going off in the background, and then we have C Tactics playing guitar. And we would be called... aggressively horny. I don't know. What would we be calling ourselves? Like, what would be a good name for a KOA band? That's a good one. I only thought of aggressively horny because of what C Tactics said about Colin from what's it called?
I don't know. I feel like we should just keep up the king of something thing going.
The king of rock. I don't know. The king of sounding bad. I don't know.
King of music. There you go.
The king of music. And then we would dress up looking oh so fly, and then C Tactics comes out wearing wearing that outfit.
The same exact outfit, by the way.
Yep. It's like, Ben, what are you doing? What, guys? I mean, come on, look. I always said if I was going to do one of these, I was going to wear this.
Rock is the king's modesty. Hold on.
That's pretty good.
So like, yeah, what going on with this with the rest of the story, when they get on stage, everybody sees that Lalisa is the one on guitar and not Shiro, and everybody's disappointed because they're looking forward to Shiro's guitar solo specifically. Because
I want my money back.
Yeah, What, your $5?
Yeah, right. Also, who pays money to see a battle of the bands? Jesus.
She is up there and everybody's disappointed. They're like, oh, this ain't Shiro, which obviously pisses her off, which, you know, fuels her later on. But besides that, we get the stupidest plot point in this fucking show, which,
come on,
it is. What do you got to say to me? What do you got to say to me?
You don't know how big those things are.
Listen, I don't have boobs. Actually, I do have boobs. They're not big.
I'll say I got them too.
Yeah, they're not big.
Definitely not that big.
Yeah, they're not Tina big. But it's not the fact. It's not the fact that there would be some actual difficulties with like looking down if you have big boobs. It's the fact that they made that a serious plot point. Like that they really honed in on that. Like, oh my God, I haven't played the keyboard with my boobs out. I just went,
kill me now.
What happened? I literally called out how this show didn't have really much fan service, and then they just amped it up to the umpteenth level.
They decided, well, we got Tina in this bitch. We might as well make her the big boob jokester, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, I've been playing I'm sorry, like I could look down at here and I can kind of like look at the piano. My boobs are nowhere near where my hands are at, and I could probably play that fine. Unless she's playing with the keyboard right underneath her chest. Then I would say, okay, she's got a point there. It's like, oh no. Or I don't know, maybe she's got what's it called? Where you're not kind of aware of your surroundings and these things are closer than what they are. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the word is, but she's just like, oh no, I can't play the piano. The boobs are too big. God damn it.
Jesus.
And then she starts crying and she's having a horrible time. She's getting constricted into a forest of emotions, and it's just so stupid. I agree. That was probably one of the dumb parts of the episode.
Well, it's the boob part specifically, like her playing out of sync and then her struggling to get back, and she's really out of it, and she's damn near about to just give up outright. I actually like that part, especially like, and this going back to the imagery that I praised. It hasn't failed me here. The imagery they use for her is like this forest that we see, like the trees like enclosing on her, and it's like she's in this desolate area. It's cold. She's lost. And you hear, I want to say this episode did a very good job of isolating the instruments when it wanted to really emphasize the points that they wanted to point out. Like when she was hearing Otaha's drum, and that being the signal for her to get back on sync, and how they focused in on a drum. Like they did that with multiple instruments, like, when it was Lalisa's turn and when it was Shiro's turn. So this is going across the whole episode, but they did a really great job with that. They focus in on Otaha's drums. Tina hears that and is like, okay, I'm hearing the signal. All right. And then she gets back on sync. Really good stuff. Right?
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of like a very important job the drummer has, is to keep the rhythm and keep the whole band together, so to speak. That's being a good drummer is a very important job. I've seen a lot of bands suffer with it, and I've seen bands that had to replace drummers because their original one either quit or died or whatever, and then they took years to finally find a good one. And then Slipknot, they finally got themselves a new drummer, and they sound like the old selves. They're back to what they used to be. It's like, oh shit, he's a lot faster now and he's on point. Okay, here we go. So it definitely helps to have a good drummer, especially one that knows how to bring people back and kind of like if they're out of sync.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Otaha, the goat. It's the spiked outfit. It's what's doing it for her.
And I think it actually gives her more depth to her character. It's what I was saying before, where I think maybe before episode 8 and 9, we kind of saw her as just like this, kind of like a loose cannon where she's just going to go off and do whatever the hell she wants. But I think they're showing more of a side of her that is able to, instead of just be like instead of just being like the eccentric, egotistical character that we known her to be in the first couple episodes, she can be the one that is instrumental in bringing everybody together. She can be the glue to the band instead of just being the person that is like the focal point where everybody's like looking at him going like, oh, she's going crazy on the drums, because I mean, I guess we're at this point right now, but everybody goes berserk basically in this episode because the crowd hears the band and they're like, this is mediocre, this is mid.
They don't even clap.
Yeah, there was one guy that was like, and the other person was like,
don't you dare clap. Don't you show no support.
So like everybody's like, yeah, this is whatever. So they're like, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to check off.
This is a bathroom break song. I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I agree. And then Otaha begins everything by basically everybody just kind of like does their own thing. Otaha does a freaking drum solo that kicks everything into gear, and then Lisa does the same with the guitar, and they start going crazy.
Oh, I really love the performance where everybody was going wild. Like I said, when they were isolating the instruments, it really emphasized the point of them going crazy berserk, because it was like, yeah, first we got the Otaha solo, and then it wasn't a solo, but Lisa comes in there, and then that sound becomes more prominent. And then, I really love the part where Shiro goes in there and she's like, all right, you guys are going too out of control. You're really fucking it up. And she stomps her feet, and then you hear the bass come through, and then you see the imagery or where she's like, you guys can go crazy, but you got to stay contained in my cage that I created. I really love that whole scene. That was really great.
Yeah. That was fantastic. Hell, even Tina was starting to do her own shit, even though she's still trying to figure it out herself. She's just like, oh man, I'm getting the tinglies, and I feel like I'm lifting now. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like everybody is drawn in this like hurricane that they create, and everybody's, participated and, adding to the winds of rebellion that everybody in the crowd feels.
Yeah, even the crowd was getting their fucking socks knocked off, where they're literally just sitting back going, oh, this sounds different. The other band was listening behind the scenes because they were just talking shit the whole time, going, this is so lame. And then they were like making fun of Shiro doing the whole whatever that fucking thing is that they do, where they're just like, you're gonna be in our band, nah, 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 nah. And Shiro's just like, I hate my life. And then, yeah, whenever they decided to go all berserk, as you put it, that's when everybody just started listening. That's when people were like, oh, why didn't they start with this song? This is what they should have started with.
Shiro even started smiling during her performance, which is very unique for her, being how like frigid and stoic she is. So it's like everybody got into the zone of going berserk and crazy. It's kind of like we got the whole prophecy of what the opening showed us, where everybody is going wild in that opening, and like by the end of it, you see everybody sweating and, so
just out of breath. Yeah. Yeah. The very last part was literally everybody just lost. Well, they were done. Everybody was breathing, huffing, puffing, sweating, and whatnot. There was a point in the episode where they were saying that there was like a moving sunflower that
Yeah.
only reacts to sound. It moved just a little bit at the end.
Yeah,
But
because they said it ran out of battery, so it was kind of just to show us like how explosive that sound was for it to move without any battery. You know,
Mhm.
so
Yep. And I guess my thoughts now are, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Because I don't think they're going to win the Battle of the Bands, to be quite honest. But I definitely think they're going to win people's respect after that last performance.
I agree with you. I feel that because here's the thing, they gave a great performance at the end, but the start matters. They didn't start off good.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to matter. So I think what's going to end up happening as far because what really matters when it comes to the stakes of them winning and losing isn't the win or loss itself, is what's going to happen to Shiro, essentially. I think the band that made the bet with Shiro are going to they themselves are going to be so moved and like, you know, surprised about how like Shiro is acting in this band, and they're probably going to just become fans of them and maybe like try to, you know, rebrand their own stuff, and you know they'll just forget about the whole, won't forget about it, but like they won't even try to assimilate Shiro into their group.
Yeah. I don't think they will assimilate them into the group because neither of them are going to win. There's one more band that's going to perform after them, which is a fourth band, and that's going to win. That's going to win, and it's going to null and void the whole bet. And then that way they're going to be like, okay, well, you don't have to join our band, but you didn't lose either. So
that is true. That is true.
that's what I think. But this is a Killer Pass episode too.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the show thoroughly.
Let's draw it out.
I enjoyed it. Okay,
Sasuke, I don't know, man.
Okay, Toriyama. Toriyama in the Namek saga. I have to get strong. Freeze.
Are you going to hurry up and do this anytime soon? Okay, I guess not. Yeah, but no. This has been the surprise. One of the surprises of the season for sure. Pretty solid episode, pretty solid series. I could see myself watching this to the end. Which is it, 12 episodes or 13?
No, you're watching this to the end. If you pass it, this is it. You're watching it to the end.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know if it's 12 episodes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm passing it, watching it to the end. Stamp seal of approval, KOA completionist.
Well, with one pass, that means it's passed, but you know, just to give my opinion on it, I've been thoroughly enjoying the show. It is surpassed my expectations. I thought I was going to like this show, but I really been enjoying it. The music has been great. I really love the performances and how manic everybody looks and plays. It's been a great experience. It seems like the whole it's becoming like a genre at this point, like girls band anime.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, they've been pretty successful because we've had just to name a couple, we have Bochi the Rock, we have Girls Band Cry, and now we have this anime. So yeah, they've been doing their thing. They've been, you know, pretty good series, I would say so.
The Decrepit Storm said, decide the Killer Pass by a battle of the bands, and also that it's 13 episodes. So there you go.
Yeah, but even at the
We're
point,
gonna
like,
kill it by 12.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, are we gonna really do like 12 and just like forsake the last episode? I feel like that would be so stupid.
Too many boobs have been showing up lately. Tina's been bouncing and jiggling too much. We got to get rid of it.
I mean, I guess if it really was bad for 3 consecutive episodes after this point, maybe so, but I doubt that's going to happen.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So it's a pass.
Yeah, so let me put it on the screen.
You pass this time.
The OP treatment.
Yeah, we did kill it. What? No, did we kill it at the end? I feel like we watched the whole thing, didn't we?
No. It was literally one episode before.
Oh, that's when we had different rules.
It's when we had different rules, but also it's when your favorite character of the series killed itself.
Hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, you were like, I'm done with this show.
I forgot we did kill the show. Episode. That's hilarious. But that is it for Rock is the Lady's Modesty. Very good show. The next show for tonight is Apocalypse Hotel, episode 7 and episode 8.
Ventura, space people. Space people. Okay. That's how you attract customers to the hotel, by the way. Based off of what?
Not science.
Not science. Yeah, this episode was a giant episode of building a satellite to protect the hotel from invaders and stuff. I love the fucking words that you have right here. Ponko Trump wants to keep aliens away with the space weapon. Oh, Ponko. Yeah, she really was going full on Trump this episode. She was just, we gotta keep these aliens away.
We have to keep these aliens out of Mother Earth. Stepmother Earth. My apologies.
Yes, but the whole time, everyone else was just like, is that really necessary? Yachio was just like, I mean, we're doing fine as it is. No, we must protect it at all costs. Look at this book I found about Nostradamus. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm talking about. And and I remember looking at that going, what does that book tell you about anything about a satellite? But they did. Yeah. They built the satellite.
Yeah, that's basically her Bible, essentially. So
I didn't know she could read.
She is super smart. We found out.
She really is.
She is an engineer.
Apparently so. And just was like building everything and like running the tests and running the simulations and going, I can't get the weight down every time I try. And she had circles under the eyes and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, Ponko is. I think we already said this, but Ponko has been surprisingly a great character in the series. Like, if I would have saw Ponko, like, given her like archetype of characters, we've seen like these cutesy type of characters in a lot of anime, many of which you EA have you have axed with your shotgun.
I'm sorry.
I feel like she beats the curse of these with that archetype. Like, she is really a great character in the series.
Yeah, she beats it. She's definitely a tolerable one. And yeah, I know what you're talking about. Lollies. Yes, I shotgunned a bunch of lolly in my day. But if I was to point that shotgun at her, I think I would look the other way because she's. And she's one to the rule.
You start crying like you're like in New Jack City. You just hold a gun. I don't want to do this, man.
Please, just keep going away with your cute raccoon-looking self.
But yeah, this episode, as always, great blend of comedy, emotional moments, and just great stuff. Because like they treat this whole thing in the beginning of Ponko wanting a space weapon as a gag. It's kind of like this funny thing of, we do the political campaign thing, which is supposed to be comedic, which it is funny. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the line of her saying, we needed to defend Mother Earth, and then she goes, stepmother Earth, because she's like, because she's basically an immigrant on the Earth, so she calls it stepmother Earth instead. I thought that was hilarious.
The Cryptid Storm says Ponko's free speech was violated.
Oh yeah, she couldn't campaign on on hotel grounds.
It's like, you got to do this somewhere else. But nope, you could get fired if you keep doing this. She ran away twice and multiple times. I want to build a satellite. No. And then again with the protests, you can't do it on the grounds. Fine, you don't understand.
She said, you act like a robot.
Oh my god.
And then she said,
I am a robot.
I am a robot. Don't you have a mind of your own? I'm a robot. So stupid. But the fact that Ponko rallied the other robots with her speech, she was using fear mongering. She was like, we need to defend Earth. What are you gonna do if somebody invades your home and steals your cinnamon toast crunch? Are you just gonna sit there and take it, you weak pussy bitch? And they're just like, the robots activate. There's a scene where the flycatcher robot has like bags under his eyes, and then like all of them get red eyes, and they just activate, just go, and they're like, yes, there we will vote for Ponko, Poko, Pon, Poko, Pon.
Ponko 2020. Or whatever year this is.
It was hilarious. But like I said, as always with this series, it really builds up the comedy to kind of lull you into a sense of security, and then it bam hits you with the emotional moments, because up until that point it's supposed to be funny. But Ponko bears her heart to Yachio, where she expresses that the reason why she wants a space weapon is because she's so tired of running. She's had to leave her home planet. Them being Tanuki, they're like their prey in most ecosystems. So she had to run away, and she enjoys being on Earth, especially with Yachio being her friend, and she doesn't want to have to run away. And she even brings it back to the humans, where she says, they didn't want to run away either, but they had to. So she wants to prevent a situation like that from happening. Which makes sense, because last episode we had Harmy, who, if he wanted to kill everybody on that planet, he could have. Like they only survived through his mercy. So her being scared makes a lot of sense coming into this episode. So yeah, like really emotional moment, and I thought it was surprisingly good, because I thought we were just getting the gag stuff. It didn't hit me with that, and I was like, okay,
yeah, it makes sense in the long scheme of things, because Ponko and her race literally escaped a planet that killed and destroyed itself. She just doesn't want the same thing to happen again to Earth. And yeah, because it wasn't like the tropey stuff where it was like, I'm just a selfish little brat and I want things my way because X, Y, and Z. No, there was some reason behind it. And I liked how they explained that. And I'm like, okay, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And now let's make a rocket ship. And that's what they did for apparently a 70-year time skip.
70 years.
building a fucking rocket ship and going up into space to release the satellite. And as what I was saying before, Panko was just like, I've crunched the numbers. I can't get it to work. How are we going to do this? And Yashio was like, I'll go. You don't have to waste all the oxygen going up. I'll just do it. And as soon as they typed in and updated the numbers, the rocket was able to go up into space. So, yeah, it was really, really nice self, kind of like sacrifice in a way where it's like, oh, wholesome, isn't she so sweet? Oh, I love you. And the way that it ends kind of like, I don't know if we want to go there now, but in a very kind of dark place. And I'm just like, whoa, it went there.
Yeah, like this series, man, it just keeps impressing. It is impressive how it keeps impressing, because I keep getting to this point where I'm like, all right, I raised the bar for the series, and then it raises the bar on what I thought. Like, you don't know what to expect with this series. You don't know. You truly don't know where it's going to go. Like, you cannot telegraph where the series is going to go. Truly, it is. If I tried to fucking guess what was going to happen in the next episode, I would look so foolish by the next episode, because it'll do something completely out of bounds, and then it'll be way better than whatever I imagined. And it keeps doing that. The series keeps doing that. Like, for us to have that emotional moment of Yachio, because it was really great. Yachio and Ponko telling their goodbyes to each other. Ponko saying how she loves Yachio. Yachio recuperating that, reciprocating that, I meant. And she goes up into space, and the solar flare happens, fries her systems, and then she gets trapped in space. And then that scene where she's floating, and she's like, she's never felt this before, but thinking about how she's going to be apart from everybody, she feels scared for the first time. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah. And she saw Earth and was like, it really does look beautiful from up here. But man, I'm going to miss everybody while I'm up here, and I'm scared, I'm terrified. Yeah, that was one of those. I was surprised that's how it ended. I'm like, that's really how you're going to end this episode? Like that? That's, wow. I agree with you, Sasuke. The fact that this is an anime original, and the fact that we picked this one by just throwing a dart at a fucking dartboard, and was like, that one looks good, let's do it.
This was the biggest shot in the dark anime we've ever had, because we had no expectations of this anime at all. We watched the trailer, and we just went, we didn't even know what to say about the trailer. We just went, this shit looks weird, but it's kind of
it looks
cool
weird
looking. Yeah,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, we
I think we even said, well, if it doesn't look good, we can just drop it.
Yeah, like even the synopsis didn't really tell us much. It's like, yeah, hotel set, post apocalypse, yeah, and we're like, all right, whatever. And then we watched the show, and to me, this is my favorite series of the season. This series with the blend of comedy, emotional moments. I love these characters.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's been a very welcoming, surprising series that has surpassed all of my expectations. And just when I thought this episode couldn't, this series, I should say, couldn't get any better, we got the next episode. And that next episode, I tell you guys, when I say this, I'm not even kidding. When I went and I saw episode 8, and I saw it today, after experiencing episode 7, I was like, okay, what on earth are they going to do? Just like you said, Sasuke, you could just throw something at the wall and try to make it stick and be like, oh, that's probably going to happen, and you'd be 100% wrong. Because what we got in episode 8 is something I never thought was going to happen. And it's, where do I even begin with this? There's yet another time skip, and Ponko is an adult. She's grown up.
This series, its setting has created a situation to where anything can happen. Whereas, like, I feel with a lot of stories, we always work in confines of the setting, the story, and the characters that are in it. I never thought with us having robot characters that they could just do whatever the fuck they want. Like, truly, they could do whatever the fuck they want. We could advance 70 years into the future and it won't feel jarring. We're not going to sit here and be like, why the fuck did they do that? We're literally just here. We see Ponko as an adult and it's like, okay, we're in it. Like, we're all invested in this. It's like, wow, okay, this is where you want to take the story. Take us there. And every single time they tell the story they want to tell, it may not come off like, well, like while you're watching it. Like, you may be like, what the fuck are we doing here? It always works out in the end. Every single time. Like, we were getting like, there's a section, I don't want to get too ahead, but there was a section to the point I was like, wait, what are we doing with this plot line exactly? And then it ended and I was like, oh, well, that was way better than I thought it could ever go.
Yeah. Decrepit Storm, I think, nails it perfectly when he says, it's interesting this season how Lazarus had the highest expectations but hasn't really met it, while Rock and Apocalypse has surpassed expectations, and we went in with very little.
Yeah, thoroughly. Yeah, Ponko is a full-grown adult. We haven't seen her parents. We did see her grandma. But Hotel Gingaro is thriving much better now. They're getting consistent guests.
I want to say it has a lot of alien customers now.
Mm-hmm.
They just, like, way busier than what it was when Yachio was around.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Yachio, look who's falling from the sky. Holy shit, it's Yachio. And then I love how Ponko was like, fire the missile. As soon as she sees Yachio, oh, stop the missile! Stop the missile! Like, how? I don't know how to stop the damn thing. But luckily it explodes because, I don't know, maybe it just ran out of gas or just decided to blow up halfway through. Maybe that was a safety mechanism. I don't know. But Yachio returns from the sky, falling from space, entering into the Earth's atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And then we get kind of like that interesting flashback with her where it shows kind of like how she became who she was as a greeting robot or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I love how when it was doing that, how it just had like flashes of her old memories, like corrupted in a way.
Yeah.
Still reacting to the effects of the solar flare, I would assume, and all those years up in space.
Yeah.
So she sees like people, but she also sees Ponko and all the other peoples that she had met along the way. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just a very interesting way to go about it, which it mixed both the end of humanity, but also the beginning of how she became like the greeter robot and almost kind of like being born again, so to speak, because then after that, she wakes up and there's Ponko. Oh, you're awake, Yashio. And she's like, yeah, I know it's you. How'd you know it was me? Just the voice and facial recognition. I wanted you to be surprised. Sorry. But yeah, that was good. That was really, really good. And, you know, everything looks all hunky-dory at the beginning where it's like, okay, she's back to normal. Oh, she's got these weird claws things for hands now. Ah, no big deal. It happens. What the fuck happened to my lower half? She became a tank. A tank, Satsuki. A tank.
Oh my fucking god, dog. Here's the thing. This show is very great at balancing the comedy and the story, because like that moment in of itself is funny, but it becomes a catalyst for a bigger plot point of like of Yachio having like this insecurity about her standing in the hotel, because like again the tank lower body funny as hell, but it becomes a deterrent in her everyday activities as well as like the clause she has. So now she can't write in her log, or she's having trouble with it. She can't get behind the behind the desk. And it's like, you know, it's fucking her up, and that becomes a catalyst for what we see later in the episode, where she just crashes out because she feels like she can't do her duties as the acting manager of Hotel Gingaru.
Acting manager Punko has business booming. Yes, he does. But yes, the acting manager. Well, she was the acting manager. That was crazy. Yeah, she does kind of like go through. I wouldn't even really say a midlife crisis, just a crisis in general, where she just realizes, or she feels anyway, that she's not needed nor is she important because all this stuff was thriving without her. So what's the point of her? Like her existence just becomes questioned, and she runs away in her lower half tank and just starts blowing shit up left and right. And Sasuke, I had to rewind this because I thought we were introduced to a new character at first.
I thought it was a new Tanuki.
I thought it was too. I thought it was like maybe the mom. It's like, oh, there's the mom. She's like a badass. Where's the husband? But then I saw her hand and I went, oh shit, that's Yachio. Let me reverse that. And then you see her looking like Launch or something, just acting like a punk and a badass and just, you know, like chewing bubble gum and just all the other worker bots are like, go back to work. No war.
Go back to work.
Stop doing what you're doing. And she's firing her fucking missiles, just not giving a fuck. And I'm like, what is happening? But it's not in a bad way. It's in a very entertaining, because once again, whoever gave the budget for this series is killing it. Great scenes, because what happens later on is, well, just an epic fight scene between Yachio and Panko in mech fighting shit. And I'm like, I didn't think I needed this in this series, but I got it. It's so great.
We got two great fights in the series, and this fight was even better than the whole Harmy thing, because this one was really emotional. Ponko and Yachio are talking throughout the whole fight. Yachio's expression, her trepidations about her role in the hotel and how she feels like she's not needed, how she is, you could just say, just jealous about how the hotel is thriving without her, because that was her whole purpose. So it's like, and then also the hotel isn't in the image that she was wired to believe that the hotel should be in, because the manager left her with some cues as to what he wanted to do for the hotel, and she's been striving to make the hotel in his image. And while that has been, you know, with the whole whiskey thing, even a satellite thing was his idea, with things now, it's like the hotel has been taken into somebody else's vision, and although it's been thriving, she doesn't feel like there's any worth in it thriving in this vision. So she just crashes out, tries to kill it, you know, blow up everything in their wake. And, you know, Ponko is now being a voice of reason. You know, she's not a kid anymore. She's trying to be the voice of reason, and she's trying to get her to, you know, get back in the hotel, but she's just not listening. And it is the weirdest fucking thing ever, but it is one of the best emotional fights I've seen. Like,
it's pretty great.
Like, I don't know how the series does it. I honestly don't know.
The Cryptid Storm said the robots were gonna give Yachio some soup saying get a job. I totally forgot what started this whole thing of why she was crashing out. They didn't need the shampoo hats anymore. And that's what fucking set her off.
That really did set her up, because there was like, okay, it was like the aquarium where she like set it up to like for electricity instead of just having a fish there. And then there was like the automated key thing, and then like, oh, you don't have to count the money anymore or whatever. And then she saw the shampoo hats not being in every guest room, and she just said, bitch, what did you do to my hotel? This ain't my hotel.
Yep. And that's when she was running away, blowing everything out, and Evil Bot was like, oh, there's Yashio. Just destroying everything in its wake. But yeah, then we got one of the coolest and most epic fights of the series and of the season.
I'd say of the year. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, solo leveling, eat your heart out.
The reason I say that is not just like the animation or whatever. Like, for me, fights really mean something when you put emotional weight behind it. Like, I always reference this whenever I talk about my favorite fight in One Piece. My favorite fight in One Piece isn't one that's like thought of as like the best choreographed fight. My favorite One Piece fight is Luffy versus Usopp because of how emotional that fight is. Like, that fight truly made me feel tension, which not every fight is going to do. We talked about like what's that one show? The high school. Got a high school. Yeah. That had great choreographed fights, right? But we didn't really feel anything because they didn't set up any. It's like wrestling, you know. You gotta fucking do the promo before the fight, or we're not going to really care.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you gotta make us give a shit about why these people are fighting to begin with.
Yeah. So I thought this fight was not only good in the, you know, just the animation and everything. I thought it was good in the emotional weight of the fight, which I think is arguably the most important thing, because I truly felt, I was just hoping and praying. I'm like, please, Yachio, listen to I was like on Ponko's side, where I'm like, listen to reason. I understand why you feel the way you feel, but you know, I just want you to be a part of the group. And it was kind of heart-wrenching to see that fight, you know, especially considering what we got in the last episode, them telling each other they love each other, and then next episode they're fucking fighting to the death, you know. So yeah. I thought the fight was pretty great. Yeah,
pretty good. We had the moment where, you know, Ponko's like grabbing and hanging on to her by like a thread, and then Yachio's just, let me go, I'm useless, I'm no good, blah blah blah. But then she jumps out of her mech and she's just like, I love the shit out of you, Yachio. I love you. Okay. And I love it because Yachio was like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. And then Ponko was like, or you can just do that. And then we transition into, hey guys, I'm totally sorry I did that. I was going through my rebellious phase, she called it that. And I'm back as I'm recruited back as the working manager or whatever. And at the very, very end, shampoo hats are back, baby. Because that's what runs a great hotel, the shampoo hat.
I love the show. The fact that they brought that back, they just know what is funny. The fact that they brought that back, they were like, yeah, we need the shampoo hats to make this hotel what it used to be. That's so fucking hilarious.
Because that was the first episode. Shampoo hat gone, gone, gone. Ah! And that was like one of the most quotable parts was in the first episode.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, yeah, I absolutely loved it because she's like trying her best to like fixing the bed, and it's like looks like shit. Oh, this full of that shampoo hat gone.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be gone.
All right, it's not there anymore.
Oh my god.
And then she just loses her shit.
Corporate store said we should have a shampoo hat award at the next award show. I don't know what it would mean, but we need it.
Shampoo hat award would be the funniest moment in the series or something, or the funniest moment in the season. I think that's what shampoo hat should stand for.
You know what happened in this episode that we're not talking about? Two things.
Oh, the grandma.
Exactly. She's growing sick, and we didn't really focus on it, but I feel like this show has shown enough emotional maturity that they can really handle these sad moments. And I think it may end with just her dying soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say the grandma, but also, is that her boyfriend?
Yeah,
that's not her brother.
No. That looks like
thank
her boyfriend.
God.
Yeah,
because I was like, I remember him being a lot younger. Please don't let that be her brother or something sick.
Yeah, I think that's her boyfriend.
Yeah, because I saw that too, and I was almost confused because I was like, is that her brother? He looks very clingy for being her brother. Yeah. But yeah, the grandma, I think she's just gonna up and die too. I don't know how long the Tanuks live, but you know, she's definitely reaching her time. Also, what's happened with the parents? Did they leave? Are they still here? Are they dead?
Yeah.
Are they alive?
We don't know. But one thing that I noticed is that when you see the robots, they are very worn down. Like you can see the wear and tear on them, and it's making me think like there's going to be a point in the series where, just like we saw the other robots at the beginning of this series, they're going to be out of commission soon too.
And I wonder what's going to happen. Maybe they'll like try to save some of the robots through other parts and like try to scrap them up and like make them usable again. I don't know, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm going to know what's going to happen, especially after this fucking episode. There ain't no way I'm going to predict ever again. But I definitely, and this is just an assumption, like there's going to be a point where all the robots are going to go away. And I honestly feel like they're going to make it a point where Yachiho is going to be the last one and she's going to die. And it's going to be one of those things where Ponko needs to learn to let go type of thing, maybe.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
It definitely feels like this series could be we could transition to a new generation. They definitely set it up that way. Ponko herself has already shown herself to be a person who is able to manage the hotel alone. Not alone, but you know, as the acting manager. So with that being said, you know, I hope Yachio stays around, especially after her coming back. But as it pertains to like some of the other robots, yeah, they are replaceable. They can, you know, serve their purpose and it be that, and we can replace them, especially with this hotel gaining more and more traction. And you know, who knows? Maybe this show could end with Harmy killing everybody at the end, for all we know, because of civilization finally being back on Earth and him fulfilling the promise of, you know, when you guys actually, you know, get back on your feet, I'll be here to destroy you just like I do with other planets. But I don't think that would be a bad thing necessarily, just because I think so far, and you know, I'm extrapolating this and saying that this is going to happen in future episodes, but so far this episode, this series has been pretty satisfying on all fronts, and it's at this point where I feel like it can do anything, and then we'll still be for it because it just executes its ideas well.
Yeah. Decrepit Storm says, do you think humans are still alive somewhere and we'll see them return by the end of the show? That's a good question. I honestly felt like they died out a long time ago, though.
Yeah, I don't think we will. I think that one episode, I was trying to keep like that idea alive, but when the Tanukians seen humanity, like when they were on the ship where humans died out on that ship, I was floating the idea maybe humans were on a different planet or whatever, but I feel like humans just may not come back. And
yeah,
that'll be fine. And it'll work either way. If they come back, cool for Yachio. But at the same time, they're serving their purpose as this hotel. Because I feel like what theme they're trying to convey is that Yachio is trying to keep up the will of the manager, not necessarily every single idea. Because what he showed is that he wants his robots to have agency. He wants them to, of course, have hospitality and everything, but he wants them to be their own people. So I feel like the way you do that is by having Yachio not necessarily express every idea that the manager has wanted for the hotel, and even her own idea that he's going to come back, whereas she just decides that this is a hotel for aliens all over the world. Maybe this is like the pit stop planet for everybody. She not necessarily gives up on humanity, but she's fine with them not coming back.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy to see what's gonna happen these next so many episodes. One of the most unexpected series of the season. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, that's all we had to say about Apocalypse Hotel. So it is time to move on. God damn it. Okay. Thank God I didn't do anything. All right. Time to move on to Ranger Reject, episode 7. EA, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have any more fuel. You got to talk about this episode.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll talk about it because I have some thoughts when it comes to this series, and I haven't said that in a minute. But I mean, I could already see here, just in the notes here, that it looks like it's more skip content, and I said that last time that it felt that way. It's starting to really feel like that, And if someone like me who's just an anime only, where it's starting to feel like that even more so, it's not a good thing. And I feel like the pace is just so weird. I feel like the first season, even if it had skip content and whatnot, it was a pretty consistent feel and how it flowed, and I was enjoying it. But in a matter of one whole episode, we, for some reason, have Angel that's not a part of the team anymore. There's a monster society that's advocating for monster rights or whatever. Now there's people that are hating the Rangers. Apparently the fucking Red Ranger died all of a sudden, and no one's talking about that. And it just feels just so discombobulated, and I just feel as if it's just trying to just push everything in there all in one go. Because now we have Yumiko, who I was telling you last time, how is she going to show her face at the Ranger Society again? Oh, apparently very easily, because it seems like nobody cares that she tried to kill the Green Ranger. Like, nothing. I'm like, okay, and I'm sorry, wasn't the Green Ranger and D in the middle of a fight? It just seemed to kind of just end the very next episode. And now we're just kind of like trekking through. It felt like 50 different fucking things happened in this one episode, and each should have been its own episode separately to tell more of a detailed story. And it just, I don't know. And as you're saying, Sasuke, I just can't do it anymore. I'm all out. This series is starting to not feel like how it used to, and it felt like it had a certain structure to it and everything. Because also, there's, I don't know, we only talked about Hatsumura one time, and we saw him once, and then like that was it. We never saw him again, as far as like what really happened to him. And then there's like a Blue Ranger that's in there inserted all of a sudden now. Where the fuck did he come from? Oh, he was an ex something or other. Yeah, it's just all over the place, man.
I will tell you this much. With some of the things being sudden, that is something that happened in a manga, but I think it happened with a lot more tact and precision than it did in the anime. I'm not going to go over every skip thing that they did. I'm just not going to do it because at this point it's really insurmountable.
Is it turning into the Promised Goofy Land?
No, I'll never say that because the Promised Neverland, what they did to the Promised Neverland can never be replicated. I don't think you can try to be as bad as the Promised Neverland ended up being. So I'll never compare it to that. But so let's talk about some of the events and everything. So like Green links up, the Green Squad links up with the Red Squad, and they go up to kill kaijus. And then killing kaijus, Angel stumbles upon something. We're not really privy to it at the moment. But later, that's like her last mission as a ranger on the Green Squad. And we see her later with this new group, which is I'm trying to see what was their official name.
The Monster Association of something or other. I don't know.
The hell? Yeah. Oh, the Monster Protection Society. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
So yeah. So we're kind of left wondering, like, what? She's siding with monsters when she was a ranger? What was that whole thing about? We don't really know. She tried to recruit D, who she thinks is Sakurama, because she knows Sakurama's affinity to these invaders. That doesn't end up happening because Hisui steps in and is like, yeah, can you leave my ranger alone? You're not with us anymore. And she backs off. So that's its own thing. All right, so that's like one of the major reveals we get. This is the one thing I will talk about as far as how the manga did it and how the anime did it. The whole red thing that happened with D stabbing him.
Mm-hmm.
I hate how the anime did that scene. It
seems so underwhelming.
Here's the thing. It is underwhelming in the manga too. Like, but it's
okay.
When I say underwhelming, think of underwhelming in a sense of like when we got the Attack on Titan reveal with Reiner and Berthold being the armor and the Colossal Titan. It's underwhelming in a sense of you don't expect it, but it comes at you so like untelegraphed that you just like what? Like you're left confused. Like you're like, there's no way we're doing this. Like what is happening here? That's what happens in a manga when it comes to D killing Red. It's like he goes to do it and he surprised himself that he does it. There is no tripping scene that happens in a manga because he trips over a rock and he goes, oh, and he accidentally kills him. And I'm like,
right.
the reason why that specific part is important and how it happens is because D, you know, in the previous episode was basically exposed by the Green Ranger, where he's like, yeah, you're not really a real monster. Like, where do you stand? It seems like you're siding with Rangers, but you're trying to be a villain. What exactly is your purpose, essentially? So like D internalizes that, and he's like, all right, am I a monster or am I a ranger? Am I a human or am I a monster? And that scene where he kills Red is a sign of where he's going forward, because he does it willingly. Like, he does it with the intention of killing him. But the anime just has it to where he trips and stumbles into it like he's fucking Hercule in Dragon Ball Z. It's like, what?
Oh my God.
Why did you do that? There was no reason to do it. That completely changes the intentions of the intention of the scene. Because like I said, in the manga, it just happens. And it's really shocking. It's a double spread. It's like, whoa, he did that. And in the anime, it's like some Looney Tune shit. Like he slipped on a banana peel and then fucking and then stabbed her. It's like, huh?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Because I admit that does change everything about it. You know, going over there under your own volition and fucking stabbing him versus I'm gonna go over there and oops, I tripped over a rock, and then I didn't mean to kill him. I was maybe gonna possibly not do it when I got close. That's what it tells me. Ugh, that's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Like I said, it's still underwhelming in the sense of it happens.
So he actually dies, and like, what happened? He just dies.
So it still happens in that same way. He's not on guard. He just does it, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, we're really doing this? Like, this is how he goes out? It happens in that same way, but it's so much better in the manga, like I said, because it's the shock value of it. And obviously you can argue if the shock value has any merit in that sense. I mean, I feel like that has to be judged later on with, the impact it has. But yeah, it happens in that same way. It's just that it happens of his own volition. He is literally saying, yeah, I'm gonna stab him, I'm gonna do it, and he does it. He's surprised that it happens that easily, but he does it.
But he did it. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
okay,
see, and that would have made more sense, and that would have been more interesting. But instead, we get a Looney Tunes death. Stupid. But even after he dies, they still have a Red Ranger, which that confuses me, because now I'm just like, is it a clone of him? Was that a fucking clone of him?
Well,
I mean, was that...
Yeah, you're supposed to think about that. Is it that they're trying to keep up their image? It's kind of, you know what it is? It's kind of like, since we compare the series to The Boys, it's kind of like a Black Noir situation.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
very interesting.
Is this another Black Noir? Is this an imposter? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I won't say what it is going for, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I don't know. Like I said, just a whole bunch of shit. Red Ranger dying in a very lame, shocking way, but anime ruins it, of course, because why make it, why be faithful and keep it interesting the way that it was? Instead, let's do it the stupid way.
Yeah. Well, the other big thing is Yumiko being back, which
no repercussions whatsoever. Just dead, knocked out, and like, hi Yumiko, hi.
Here's the thing, yeah. Referring back to the manga, Yumiko comes back. So this is not like a change necessarily, but there's more emphasis on Dee's shock that she's back, because she has a scene where she's talking with the Green Ranger that they don't show in the anime. And he's like, wait, what? Why are you guys talking? There's a lot of confusion that is supposed to be there that is there in anime, but not for the right reasons. It doesn't feel like it feels like confusion because they didn't explain, or it feels like confusion because things are happening in a weird way rather than something intentional in my eyes. Because again, there's focus on D going, wait, why is Yumiko back and why is she talking to the Green Ranger? And we don't get the answer to that immediately, but yeah, that happens. But it doesn't happen in the anime. She just comes back and you're just like, oh, business as usual. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. This episode was not a good one. Because we got that, and we see her. I guess her plan is that she's just evil, and the Orange Ranger is just cool with that. That's what I understood. You gonna collect all the divine artifacts? Yes, and I'm going to give them to you, boss.
Wait,
what?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's this episode did too. It's not the fact that it didn't adapt everything faithfully. That is part of the reason. But it not only didn't adapt everything faithfully, it did everything at a pace where it threw so many questions at you that you're just left wondering what the fuck was this? That's the problem. It's so much. Like we at least had like chapter breaks in between it, like where D has a thing where he kills Red. It's like, all right, chapter break, cool. It feels more digestible when we have all this stuff happening. Like, think about all the reveals and crazy shit we got this episode, and it feels like they tried to do that intentionally. But it's like, all right, we got Red's death, we got Red coming back, we got Angel leaving, we got Angel being in the Monster Protection Society, we got somebody in the Yellow Squad who was once in the Yellow Squad being in the Monster Protection Society. We have Yumiko revealing that the kaijus were actually like a ranger creation, and then her saying what she said to the Yellow Ranger. It's like, it's way too much. Like, nah, it's just too much.
Yeah,
I think that's the big issue.
That was the other thing too. Like Yumiko reveals where it's like, oh, you and the Kaiju and the Rangers. We kind of already knew that from the beginning. You know, it wasn't really anything shocking or surprising. So it wasn't really that big of a reveal or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. It's just a bunch of random shit happened this episode with a lot of questions and not enough answers. And it's one of those, I agree with you. I feel like, between chapter breaks and whatnot, that's something I'm sure it's a nicer pace. And I don't know, maybe this anime is not meant to be an anime. Maybe this is more of a mangaka type, or I don't know, maybe they just needed a different director or somebody to like kind of like chop it up better. Because I thought the first part of this season was pretty good when we got to the actual school part. Like everything was going good. Mm-hmm. And then like after we got out of that arc, everything's just been a lot of dialogue, a lot of motives. Next page. Next episode, more of this, all this stuff's thrown at you. Next episode. And I still don't know who half of Plon is, or whatever the fuck he is. He's just there, and he's always at the end of every episode doing funny bits that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very confused about this series, and I'm of the mind to say we should 86 it.
Hey, it chose the best time to have the worst episode. It's episode 7, so we wait 2 more weeks. So hey,
man, I
We're
should have
stuck.
killed this last week. Should have killed this last week when I had the chance. I should have broke its little neck, but no, I didn't do it. I just said it's just a little misunderstood. You don't know, Satsuki.
It's like you watch Walking Dead, right? So
Oh yeah,
what was her name? Was her name Carol? When
the
she
one
killed
with the short hair.
Yeah, when she killed the little girl.
Oh yeah, look at the flowers. Yeah,
Yeah. It's see, you left her. You knew what she was, but you left her alone. You left her alive too long, and she ended up killing her little sister.
That was such a crazy season. I remember that one. Just look at the flowers, sweetie. Blows her fucking brains out.
They put a Shoko to say it should have been episode 7. I'm on record. I did want to kill the show. I did want to kill the show last week.
You did. And you know what? To be fair, what the Crimson Storm's talking about, that was me the last time too. Because I was like, guys, we need to kill this. And you're like, no, this episode's been not so bad. And then the bed, and this is gonna be another one of those where we're gonna have to wait 2 episodes where I'm just gonna be like pretending, yeah, episode 8 is great. So fantastic. Then episode 9 comes around. Oh, thank God. I'm gonna kill it. Don't you want to talk about it? Nope.
Hey, 2 more weeks. Who knows? I could get back on track.
Yeah. We got the Monster Society or whatever the fuck next week. So
we got Angel's daddy, who's like the leader of this group, and we
know he's important because he's got like pink hair strands or in his head. Oh man.
The Crepper Stone said I would recommend watching season 3. He's talking about ReZero. I will recommend watching season 3. I like season 2, but I also wasn't feeling super high about the series after it. But I binged season 3 a while ago, and it was awesome. Yeah, I gotta finish it. It is time. I gotta sit up for this. What am I doing?
I want to say, let's get a good stretch in. It's the moment y'all been waiting for. It's the reason you clicked on the video.
Whew. Let's clear that.
It's Future Diary, episodes 15, 16, and 17 in all of its shit glory. And oh my goodness, we are hey Satsuki, guess what? We got a brand new OP.
I literally have stated that the one consistent thing that I like about the series is the opening, and now it doesn't even have that.
Yep, that is gone, and now it's some generic sounding opening.
This is the downfall of the series. This is truly the downfall of the series.
Yep, this is when we can pinpoint it. Because I know last time we were like, oh, we can pinpoint. No, this is literally it. When the new opening begins, that's when the series officially turns to shit. So, man, where to begin? This is a good one. Okay, so, hey, Deus sends a message to everyone about 8's ability to create diary holders. And you want to know something else? Let's find out if this diary holder who is now a user can fucking die. And by breaking their phone right in front of them.
I don't even know where to start with that because there's so much wrong with it. There's so much wrong with it. I don't know where to start. First, why is Deus Ex Machina sending a message to everybody when he could literally just talk to them telegraphically. Like, why is he now sending messages to them via phone? Is he just tired? Is he losing his power at this point? He can't do that anymore.
He's just like, hey yo, it's a Deus TTLY. Gonna send you the emojis now. Eighth is ability to create holders. Peace and love. Deuces. Yeah, it's weird because you would expect him to have that power. He could summon people, but I guess I don't know. He was crumbling, looking pretty bad the last few times we saw him. So maybe he's finally at that point where he's just like, just text it. It's not even him. It's probably Murmur texting everything.
I mean, that would be interesting if that was the case, but they don't explain that, of course. But going to what you said, I started the episode and I went, all right, let's try to have fun, I guess. And then we got to that point. I'm like, bro, it hasn't even been 5 minutes. So let me explain this just in case people watch this and they didn't really think about anything. Yuki has a conversation with Deus Ex Machina off screen. He has a conversation in which he asks about Eighth's diary, which is able to create apprentice diaries, in which we saw with Kosuke. So that happens off screen. We don't see it, happens off screen. So in that conversation, I'm supposing they asked him if, are these participants in the actual death game? Can they die if their diaries are destroyed? And, he answered it truthfully. So Yuki probably has information that if Kosuke has his diary destroyed, he won't die. Akise is a whole different conversation because he's speculating it. He's speculating on that. So what they do to test out this hypothesis on which apprentice diary users will die if their diary is broken, they take Kosuke's phone and fucking break it.
Sounds like a sound plan. If he dies and gets a wormhole sucked to him and everything, who cares?
Not only do you risk his life, which is already bad enough, but you don't tell him the plan, which I mean, I would be opposed to it if I was him. But I mean, for fair sake, like, you're playing with his life. You would at least think that would be something that you would try to inform him about or see if he was cool with. You don't tell him the plan. Not even talking about the fatality of it. You break his phone. That is actually his phone. Why do you do that? He literally says,
test it out.
He literally says, damn, you could have told a brother to back up, so I could back up my. So all his contacts, all his pictures, everything that was on that phone gone because you guys wanted to test the hypothesis instead of just telling him outright so he could at least have that. No. And then they continue to treat Kosuke like he's some lolcow, like he's just some. Like they're farming him for laughs and giggles because they go, all right, Yuki sees that he's going to get attacked by 2 unknown people. So he's like, okay, well, the people with their princess diaries, 7. So he's like, all right, I need help. I can't ask for help. I need my friends. And they're like, friends are there to help you. And they go, okay, you want help? We got you. You're going to Kosuke's mansion and we're going to have a standoff there. And then Kosuke's like, he's having a standoff where? Your mansion. Where? Your mansion. And obviously he's like, no. And they can fucking kick him and throw spitballs at him like he's a weenie or something, like a boo, fuck you, Kosuke, they right at you,
little bitch. You little fucking shit.
I'm like, and then too, when he was freaking out about his diary being broken, and he was like, wailing and like rolling on the floor, they made fun of him for that. And I was like, he thought he was going to fucking die.
Oh, quit being a baby, you little bitch. Come on. And then kick him while he's down. Yeah. It's not like you're alive. Grow a pair. What are you, a man?
I was like,
also, hello, Midnight.
yeah, what's good, Midnight? I was like, how are they making me sympathize with this dude? I don't care about him. I truly don't care. But it seems like he's the only one with a brain.
Yeah, well, brains don't go very far in this series, because if you have a brain, they don't listen to you. If you're a complete stupid dumbass, then they'll listen to that person 9 times out of 10. I think we should go to the big mansion. That sounds like a great idea. I think that's a terrible idea. Shut the fuck up. No one asked you.
It would have been a fine idea if they went full, and they had the Home Alone traps there, but they don't do that. Their whole plan is to go to this mansion, have this tower where they cut off the signal for the phones, and then not have, have the people who infiltrate not have their future diaries. This is the problem I have with the show. Telling the future does not give you impunity when it comes to any combat scenarios. Just knowing the future does not mean you're going to win every fight. If the Flash literally tells me, hey, Satsuki, I'm going to punch you with my right fist, do something about it. Do you think I'm going to do it? Do you think I can actually evade that? No, he's going to.
Not the Flash.
I can't do anything about that. There are situations where you just can't do anything about somebody, especially with we're not getting the future in real time, meaning you're not getting the future updated within seconds. You're getting the future updated within increments of 10 minutes. You cannot tell me that gives you so much sway over what happens in the present time that you're able to beat everything that's in front of you. So I already had a problem with that. With them just relying on them disabling their future diaries instead of just actually setting real traps. But forget all that, because before those guys get introduced, comes back into the plot.
Just out of nowhere. Hello, darling. Wait, no, was it in, it wasn't at the mansion, it was like before the mansion, right? Like, wasn't it one of those where it was like mom was there? It's like, oh, hey, was just here making food. She was here making what? Yeah, she said she had to go, but that you should eat up and get all your strength up, blah, blah, blah. But I love it right here. Yuki has police protection, but somehow made it in there. Yeah, because it makes no fucking sense.
And that's what I mean. This is what I mean. Has a future diary where she can get pertinent information on Yuki in increments of 10 minutes. Just because she has the future of how Yuki is going to act in increments of 10 minutes does not mean she can account for everything that happens around him. Meaning she can't account for police protection. That doesn't explain how she was able to get into the house without anybody noticing her, with there being police surveillance for 24/7 police surveillance. How was she able to get in the house?
Remember how she got in last time? She just shattered the window and did it that way. How much you want to bet she did the exact same thing and the police were looking at it going, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be involved.
Here's the problem, Here's the problem that the future mangaka is not going to address. The mom she was cooking with the mom, right? Which means she has to invite her in there, which means that she couldn't have just broke in there. That would have made no
Okay.
sense. That would have made no sense unless would have just showed up in the house and say, "Yeah, Yuki invited me there." That's the only way I could see her breaking into the house while it making sense that the mom interacted with her and cooked with her and all of that.
Mhm.
So how the fuck did that whole? We're not going to get an answer on that. So yeah. So yeah, was there.
Mm.
Yuki scared. They go to Kosuka's mansion, and then that's when we have our two new characters, Marco and I, infiltrate the party and go to Kosuka's estate with the intent of killing Yuki and Yuno.
We're gonna kill ourselves a Yuki. Why do we only go after Yuki? I don't know. Why can't we go after anyone else? Because we only can fight Yuki and Yuno. That's right, Marco. First time I saw this, I thought they were brother and sister. I didn't know they were. But then when they started kissing, I was like, please don't be brother and sister. But no, they're lovers. They are lovers. And Satsuki, they want you to know that they're in love.
Yeah, I could tell by
Because they are the most
saliva trail.
Yeah. They're the most in love characters I've ever seen in anime, and you can't tell me otherwise. Look at how much in love they are.
Yeah, they could finish each other's sentences. They
could.
they tried to make them Miria and you watch Bakuno, right?
Oh my god, yeah, I love Bakuno. Miria and Isaac, thank you. What is it, Miriam? I love that dub.
Yeah, they tried to make him Isaac and Miria, them finishing each other's sentences, them acting the
Now those are characters that are in love.
Yeah,
that is a loving couple.
Yeah, I mean those characters truly feel like one character in of itself. Like they don't feel right separate at all.
Miriam, what is it, Isaac? It's been 50 years and we have never aged.
Oh, you're
One
right.
of my favorite quotes. They were like freaked out at first. Oh my god! Oh, that means we live forever. I need to watch that again. It's been so long. I love that movie or show.
The Crimson Storm. Thank you. I was about to skip over that. My bad. Tiki. Sorry. The Crimson Storm said Yuki talks about how him and Yuno were chased by the police, and his mom says she won't ask him about it and will tell him to talk about it when he wants to. I wrote that down. I forgot to talk about it. Yes.
Oops.
She is at a table with Yuki and goes, "Yeah, I know about this whole thing about the police, and yeah, I won't ask you about it." And I go, "What? You're not going to ask your 14-year-old child why the fuck there's police? Not only police surveillance right now, but why they were being interrogated by police? Like that's not a concern for you?" Listen, because I'm trying to be empathetic to a certain point. I could understand the whole thing of maybe this isn't the right time. Maybe I don't want to grill him necessarily when he's already been through this much. But you're not going to ask him about it as a parent?
Nah, it's too personal.
What the? This is what I said before about her. They try to make her the cool mom, but in making her the cool mom, she doesn't seem like a cool mom. She seems like a negligent mom. Because what type of parent would not ask their child about, not even raise the question? You're going to just acknowledge it and go, "I'm not going to ask you." What shit?
No.
What does it matter in the story then? That's basically just the author saying, "I don't want to address this problem in the story. I understand that this will be a plot hole otherwise. Please don't call it a plot hole. Leave me alone."
Yeah. It's so bad. She's such a cool mom.
I don't recall her ever asking about the school bombing.
She is so cool.
Is she ever gonna ever address the fact that the kid in her custody ran away and never came back? Or is that gonna be like another phantom thing?
Yeah. They live in the suburbs. Cops are all over the place. Midnight. Yeah.
Rage baiter. But yeah. Marco and I versus Yuno and Yuki.
They shut off the power and their phones went off. But you know what? It was useless. Because guess what? Drum roll, please. It turns out that Marco and I are both diary users. They're the 7th diary user.
Wait, both of them? They're both 7.
Yeah. They're both 7. Don't question it. Like 2 people are the same diary user because they have the phones that can predict each other's moves and they can switch phones on the fly because Sasuke, they're in love.
Yeah. So
they're in love with each other.
Well, with 2 people being a future diary users, EA, so what happens if one of them lives and they end up winning?
I don't think the mangaka went that far because I don't think we even got that answer in future episodes. But as far as I know, from what I could see, they love each other. And that they are, they're both 7. That's the answer.
Yeah. I can't
yeah, that whole side plot or whatever you want to call it about shutting off their phones didn't mean jack squat because they weren't even like hired guns. They were actual diary users. So you can't shut off the phones of a diary user. Hee hee.
And this is my issue. It's like, once again, every fucking future diary user revolves around Yuki and Yuno. I brought up this point. This is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but the deaths that Yuki and Yuno attribute for are half. Let me repeat that. Half of the fucking participants in this death game. 6. They have 3 apiece, which is important later on. I'll hold on that. But my point is, what have the other future diary users been doing?
Twiddling their fucking thumbs.
The only person that has killed another future diary user is Kurusu, and he framed Yuki and Yuno for it, so that still revolved around them. Every other future diary user, for what we know, are, if they're not engaging with Yuki and Yuno, they're not doing shit. Nobody's plot line exists without Yuki and Yuno. Where is all the characters' agency? The fucking stakes for winning this game is becoming the god of the universe, and you would think the fucking prize to win this game was a fucking $100 gift card at Olive Garden. The way people treat this shit, it seems like nobody really gives a fuck.
Nah, you have it. Nah, come on, you have it.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things where it's like if I win it, if I just so happen to win it, I'll take it. But again, the fucking stakes is God of the universe, and nobody gives a fuck. Everybody is just sitting on their ass, not doing anything, waiting for Yuki and praying that Yuki and Yuno get involved into their lives so they can finally be characters. They don't have any fucking life outside of these 2 fucking 14-year-olds. They do nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only time they do something is when we get the stupid murmur slice of life section at the end of the episode, which is supposed to get like flesh out the characters a little bit more. But again, when it comes to the actual plot, they don't exist until Yuki and Yuno infiltrate their lives, or until they infiltrate their lives.
I 100% agree with that, because this whole time, the big-headed Chef Boyardee lady, she's just been, sitting around in the background, apparently planning some fucking turnips this whole time.
Chef Boyardee.
I don't know. She just got a giant head, and it makes no sense. None. But yeah, it's so odd. Like everybody's life revolves around Yuki and Yuno. I mean, I guess they were true whenever the very first episode, when you saw nothing but the silhouettes of everybody. Everybody looked at Yuki in unison and was like, "We'll be seeing you soon. I can't wait to see you. I'm gonna love to see what your insides look like." It's like, why him? What did he do? People have a rage boner for this dude. He didn't even do anything other than exist. Oh, he scored a perfect score on a test. Forgive me. He exists.
That's why everybody said that perfect score. We can't leave him alive with a score like that.
I mean, all this shit happened because he got a perfect score. The first episode, people wanted to jump his ass. So, I mean, who's to say that there wasn't a terrorist that got an itch in her loins to want to get this guy, or some crazy blind dude that's just like, perfect test, motherfucker. I'm blind. I can't see. He thinks he's so much better than me.
Oh my god.
Ridiculous.
But yeah,
yeah.
Marco and I, like you said, they're in love, perfect couple, blah blah blah. We get a fight between them and Yuki and Yuno, in which Yuki's not doing shit, Yuno's pulling all the weight, whatever, blah blah blah. This whole fight is to show you how much in sync Marco and I are in comparison to Yuki and Yuno. It's to show you how much their love pushes them forward, and Yuki and Yuno's love isn't strong enough to match theirs. And
whoa, no shit. They're not in love?
The entire time I'm going, they're fucking in middle school. And I'm going, yeah, they're not in love as you guys are, because one is fucking crazy and kidnapped the other in like what, 2-3 episodes ago?
Yeah, something like that. And she promised she won't do it again, by the way. She won't do it again.
She makes that promise like it was something like, I promise I won't. What? You promise you won't kidnap me? The fact that you had to say that would make me go, I don't want to be with you. The fact that has to be a promise.
Yeah. So, Yuno's been like owning everybody for a good majority of the series, but when it comes to two diary users that share the same number, apparently she doesn't stand a chance. Yeah. She gets owned pretty easily by these two people. I mean, even in future episodes, it's just weird. She's just like such a weird. She fucking goes military war veteran combat against SWAT members. But against these two people, falls over and fucking flails and, Yuki, get out of here. I thought the whole fact that she's crazy and that she, I don't know, goes insane whenever Yuki gives her compliments is the reason that she's strong. But like that whole power thing kind of fluctuates. Sometimes it works to her advantage and she's just like really OP, and then other times she's just her actual age, 14, and they're two grown adults owning her easily. And it's like, what is it, series? Is it she's really strong and OP when she's like that, or is she 14 and crazy?
Yeah,
it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, kick yourself off the podcast, man, because you don't get the show. You don't get the show. Right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank God he's gone. Welcome back, Ian.
I understand now. My life has been changed.
See,
all hail, Yuno.
See, listen. What you didn't understand is that it's the power of love, baby.
Oh, of course. It was so simple.
Marco and I are so in love that they can trump anything that Yuno has shown us previously. Any martial prowess that she showed against the police, they can overcome because they're in love. It's the power of love. It's something that Yuki and Yuno didn't have in that episode, so they couldn't overcome them. So obviously Yuno would get beat because they don't have as much love.
You know what? That's why you're the GOAT. You make things make so much sense. I will never doubt you again.
Thank you. But so Yuno is incapacitated. And let me reiterate this. Marco and I, this needs to be stated. This is very important. Marco and I, who are participants in the death game, in which the stakes are becoming a god if you win. They see two participants who are in the death game who are both unconscious, and instead of killing them, they take their diaries and leave them alive.
Because, that makes sense because, and not only that, if you have their diaries, that is the easiest thing to kill them. You could literally take your knife and just both of them, and that's it. Both contestants are dead. You and your gal live to see another day and take on Chef Boyardee and Psycho Maid or whatever. Whoever's left, I don't know. And then you're good. But right, Satsuki, they don't just leave them alive. They don't do anything with the phones. They keep them.
Here's the thing.
Why?
They could have. I would have been all right with them taking their phones as hostage if they would have tried to force them to kill other future diary users.
Ooh.
Like you said, they take the phones, and what did they do with the phones? They fucking use it as leverage to make them fight them again. What?
Why do you want to fight him again? Why not just kill him? I hate the way that you're such a punk.
What is going on here? Are the stakes that important? Or do people just care about arbitrary stupid shit like he was such a wimp, he didn't protect this girl. Mind you, he's 14. They're not in love like you guys. You guys are grown as men and women. What like why is that? I don't that the whole dynamic that they were trying to throw in Yuki and Yuno's face of them being in love and them not being in love does not work because they've known each other for the better part of less than a year. It doesn't work. You
No.
keep trying to throw this in your face. We're in love. You guys are not in love. Yeah, obviously. I mean, you guys weren't tight knit within in less than a year either. And then two, your girl, I wasn't as crazy as this girl. You didn't get kidnapped by this girl. You didn't get your friends threatened by this girl. None of this shit. Like every relationship isn't going to work. It's stupid.
It is incredibly dumb, but not as dumb as Uryu coming back as a fucking nurse at the end and surprise everybody. Your favorite character's back. Uryu as a nurse outfit. Look at me doing my thing. And that's how the episode ends is she's back to help Yuki and because they lived and they made it to the hospital. They didn't die at all because that would only make sense. How the fuck did they get to the hospital? Oh, the police got there just in the nick of time. Thank God. Ugh. So
Why is Uryu helping him?
Episode 16. I don't know why she's helping him. This has been a question that's been asked multiple times because she's helped him multiple times. Uryu has now become a joke. She's become a joke and a parody of herself, where she's like, all right, and here's the reason for her helping him. She wants him to defeat Marco this time and beat him to be stronger to protect Yuno. Say what now? Any reason why? She gives a shit about these people when in the second episode she wanted to murder them. Murder. And blew up a bunch of people at a school and didn't give a shit. Oh, and Yuki's dad is in there too. We get introduced to one of the greatest characters in the series. Yuki's dad.
The first thing that Yuki's dad does when he interacts with Yuki is sees Uryu sitting on Yuki while he's doing his push-ups, and he asks, can he get that same service? So he sexually harasses Uryu as soon as he sees her.
Yep. And then she turns into a joke too. Hey, lay off me. I will destroy you. This is a murderer. This is someone who could kill somebody easily. And some reason she doesn't. Midnight. He said, I push back a little bit on that. Time don't always
Has to be
part of how strong, deep a relationship is. Please don't make me defend this. What? Okay, anyway. But yeah, Yuki's dad. He's a wonderful person. He comes back. He's like, Yuki, I'm broke and I'm like 3 million in debt, and your nurse has got a nice rack and I want to touch it and I want to feel what it's like to be like you. So can you tell me, how have you been? How's your mom? She's still hot. Oh my God.
Imagine barely asking about your son that you haven't seen in a year, and the first thing that you're concerned about is how the hell you can get in the pants of his nurse.
Can you be my nurse like all the time, because I get sick a lot and I need bed rest. Squeeze.
Do you offer prostate massages? I could definitely use one.
I need to check my colon. Need to see if there's anything up there. So please massage my prostate. Yuki's dad, please get the fuck out of this room. You are the worst kind of person. You don't understand. It's because I'm broke and I need money and stuff. You smell good.
Here's the thing. There is what did Donald Trump say? There we have a concept of a plan, some stupid shit like that.
I don't know.
There was a concept of a good plan here. When I say a concept of a good plan, I think the whole thing of Yuki and him wanting his dad to get back with his mom, I feel like that has potential to be a good plot line. Did it end up a good plot line? Of course not. But
no, because
like,
this is future diary.
Yeah. That is a concept of a good plan to follow through. I feel like that could have worked, especially with how that was something that didn't come out of nowhere. That's something that Yuki referenced. He talked about wanting to see the stars with his family, and it didn't happen because of the divorce between his dad and his mom. And yeah, I feel like that could have been a good thing to happen. But what ends up happening is that he leverages this, I guess his, condition, and goes, I'll do this competition with you, Dad. And if I win, you try to talk to mom, or you get back with mom. And he's like, all right, cool. Only if you win though. And they have a competition sanctioned by Uryu, who is
Competition out of fucking nowhere.
she is the most corrupt referee we have seen since Joey Crawford.
that was in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's the one that gave the technicals to Tim Duncan for laughing on the bench.
Yep. You think that's funny? Stop laughing. Yeah, freaking A, man. But and they actually have these competitions, and Uryu's just like, he did 10 pull-ups in the matter of a second. Yep.
Don't forget the nicknames. He did pull-ups, and he said, according to Kuru, which is Yuki's dad, they used to call him Pull-Up Paul. They used to call him Iron Grip Gary, and later, apparently, they used to call him the Nutcracker. How did you get these nicknames?
He just whacked off too much, I guess. It just doesn't sound like something to be very proud of. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. He was probably bullied when he was in high school. Hey, look, it's Pull Up Paul. It's Nutless Larry or whatever the fuck his name is. My God.
When they said nut, they used to call me the Nutcracker. I just went, why? What?
Yeah, tell me why. Just take your nuts out and go. Yep, that's my own talent.
It sounds like a shuffling cards. Oh. But yeah, they have this competition. And the entire time it's happening, I'm just going, why is this happening? Uryu has no reason to sanction this. Of course, Yuki has stakes in this, but like, even on the side of Kuro, it's like, why is he? They try to frame it as like, oh, this is good bonding time with your father, and I went, you guys don't have to do it in this like arbitrary, weird way. Like these, they could just have a conversation. Were things so awkward between the two to where they couldn't have a conversation? Like, really?
I guess. I mean, it didn't seem like that they were afraid to speak to one another. So, I mean, I don't know what happened there. Uryu, I love how at one point whenever, Yuki is trying to run and everything, she does quote this and says, I forget what she was even referencing, but
I already
she
know
goes,
what you're talking about.
what do you expect? I'm a terrorist. And I'm like, well, she said it, not me. So just absolutely brilliant writing there. Fucking Future Diary. It's like, hey, don't look at me. I'm a fucking terrorist. Yeah, cha 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 cha.
Have you seen 8 Mile? EA?
Oh, yeah. Long time ago. But yeah, I've seen it.
Do you remember the last rap battle between Eminem? I forgot the other guy's name.
And Anthony Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And tell them what something else they don't know. Yeah, I remember that.
Basis of that whole verse is Eminem jumps out and insults himself before they can use it against him. He wears his insecurity as armor. Mm-hmm. This series tried to do that with Uryu. They acknowledge it doesn't make fucking sense that she should be in a situation to help Yuki. They go, oh, she's a terrorist. They try to make it like a comedic thing. I'm a terrorist. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They tried to 8 Mile themselves. They tried to go like, oh, before y'all say anything, we acknowledge that she's a terrorist. We acknowledge she's a terrorist. Yeah, you acknowledged it, but you're not acknowledging why she's doing it in the first fucking place.
Right.
That's my problem. You can't just say, yeah, we're being tongue in cheek. She's a terrorist, but she's still doing this. Yeah, we know that. Why? What happened to winning the game?
Right. We haven't gotten to that point at all We don't understand the whole why she helps these people out. Because the only people she's ever helped out was Yuki and Yuno, though she wanted them dead at the very beginning. But is there a reason? No, none. Will we get one? Maybe. I can't remember. And if we do, it's probably not going to be good.
They try to, what they try to do with their characters, they try to transition her to this anti-hero where it's like she has bad qualities, like she would do evil, but she has things that even she wouldn't go as far as to do. Because she said to the detective Nishijima, she was like, I will keep my promise. And I went, oh, how morally righteous of you. Too bad you couldn't exercise that level of moral righteousness in episode 2 when you were bombing children.
It's always going to come back to that. I mean, it is, and it's a shame because that's how she was introduced. Maybe if she was introduced some other way, it wouldn't be so bad, but it always comes back to that, no matter what. She could save 100 children from a burning hospital, and it wouldn't matter.
I
love that, though. How morally righteous of you. Bombing a fucking school. Oh my god. That's hilarious. I guess we could say that we have some stupid ass moments that happen in between Marco and I. Who's this bitch you've been talking to on the phone? Who is this? I want to know. I don't cheat on you, baby. First of all, tells you everything you need to know about the two people. She's insecure, and has to deal with her shit. And he's like, "What are you talking about? I'm not." And then goes to find out. Oh, this is your phone. Oh, you're so sweet. They're in love.
Yeah, that's true love. This
true love is letting your girlfriend look through your phone.
I don't like doing stuff like this. I don't like throwing personal insults in someone's way when I feel it's not prompted necessarily. But I gotta ask the question: has this mangaka been in a relationship?
Oh, I see. I don't know. And if he has, he's had that type of relationship. Who you with? Give me your phone. I want to look through it. Who is she? Those are not healthy, by the way.
That's just what I'm saying. Like, why is every relationship that exists in this manga, everyone is unhealthy? Like they're not good. And it just makes me wonder, like, is this seriously their portrayal of what, obviously Yuki and Yuno, I'm not talking about them. Obviously that's supposed to be warped as it is. But when we have a relationship like I and Marco, where that's supposed to be the ideal relationship according to you guys in this series, why is it that even that one's fucked up? Like, even that one is full, like you said, insecurities and just nonsensical stuff that goes on. Like, why?
Midnight says, sounds like love to me. Midnight, you need to get out.
Rage baiter. The competition, because Uryu was rigging the competitions in Kuro's favor. Kuro won every competition despite him obviously cheating. But luckily the last competition, which was a race between Yuki and his father, went on, and it accounted for all the points for whatever reason. And in the competition, Yuki slacks back so far that his father is able to write a fucking note, leave bread and a drink, and go, I'm out. I'm gonna get my money somehow. Bye. And I went, he didn't have this prepared. You can't tell me you were that far behind to where he wrote this out, left the bread and the drink, and then he just ran off because he didn't even see. He wasn't even in a frame. He was just gone. I was like, bro, how slow are you jogging, Yuki?
That is a slow jog. I mean, oh my god. Yeah. I thought I saw that in the notes and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But it's true. To be so incredibly slow that the person who beats you writes a note and goes to a vending machine and buys you shit and then still has time to leave. That's incredible.
Even the tortoise and the hare story couldn't have wrote a story like that.
Slow and steady wins the race. Yuki being the fucking tortoise. It's like, look, I won. How did you win? I got free food and snacks.
Oh man! So that ended that competition because the dad said, "I'm gonna get the money somehow," which we find out the money is through some anonymous person who promises to give him money if he breaks Yuki's phone. Now, are we going to ask the question of why he doesn't question where the voice is coming from? You know what?
No, don't question it.
You know what, Future Diary? I'm gonna give you leeway. You know why? Because he's desperate for money. So I won't even question why he doesn't question that. I'm gonna just say he's desperate for money. He's willing to listen to any voice that says they're going to give him money. So yes, he wants to break Yuki's phone. Cool. Yuno catches on to this and tries to kill him after he tries to break Yuki's phone.
As one would do if she's in that position. And I love how it turns into a comedic gag. Yuki's like, oh no, not again. Yuno, please. Not my father. He's my father.
You can't just kill anyone you want to. Why not, darling?
What? Why not? Because we live in a society. Also, he's my dad.
Just be one quick poke to the neck.
He won't even feel it, darling. Also, he was looking for your phone. No, it's not true. It's impossible.
And
it's a misunderstanding.
At the time, they don't even think about the fact that he doesn't know that they're in the death game, that he doesn't know that breaking his phone will kill him, because they don't inform him of that. So it's like, yeah, you would question why he's trying to do that in the first place, but you wouldn't assume that he would be trying to kill you. That doesn't make sense. How would he know that? So, yeah. But fuck all that, because they get a call from Seventh, I, and Marco. They say, meet me at Sakurami Tower, bitch. Bring your daddy. We got your phones.
They said, okay.
And they said, okay. They do that. For some reason, I don't know why, Marco punches Yuki's dad in the stomach.
No reason, unprovoked.
Yeah. Just,
hey, how you doing? Punch.
I seriously,
did he say something to you?
I seriously don't know what happened. I don't understand why he even brought Yuki's dad into the picture. Like, I guess he was there to be as a hostage. Yeah, I guess he was there to be a hostage, but that doesn't make sense because they had their phones. So it's like, wait, what? Because he punched his dad and incapacitated them, and he was like, huh, now we don't need these decoys anymore. And I went, I mean, you could have just killed them with the phones, but I guess this works.
Wah.
I don't know. But yeah, so they go to the Sakurami Tower, and Yuno's evaluating the situation, being Yuno. Yuki's panicking, and Marco fights Yuki because he wants to test how determined he is to save his father for whatever reason.
Come on, you 14-year-old brat. Show how strong your resolve is.
Obviously, he beats his ass because he's a grown-ass man versus a middle schooler. What is happening? What?
I think the mangaka was beat up as a kid, like a lot. He never was in a relationship, and he was beat up as a kid for being smart.
I don't understand the motivation here. Like, why does he expect him to actually put up a fight? Why does he care so much? Do they care about being gods of whatever?
No, they just want to beat up on a 14-year-old. That's their role in this whole series. They don't even know what a future diary is. They're just like, there's a 14-year-old boy right there. Let's whoop his ass. Oh, darling, you're so brave and handsome.
Jesus.
My God. So dumb. So dumb.
The crypto store said that Uryu and Nishijima started talking about what the captain would have wanted. Mind you, Uryu in
Ishijima.
what was his name? Kurisu's. In Kurisu's diary, Uryu was the one that killed Kurisu in his diary. So if he didn't kill himself, Uryu was going to kill him. Just to keep that in mind. So it's kind of like they're reminiscing about his wishes and whatever, but it's like I don't think this is the right person to do that.
The dad shovels his way over to the phones without even thinking. He goes, "Yep, that's my son's phone," and breaks it, thus ending Yuki's life. No, I'm kidding. Yuki doesn't die. He passes out because Yuno goes, "Look, darling, it was a fake. They were actually in this bouquet of roses. There are real phones, tee."
So stupid, man.
So incredibly dumb. One, why would they make decoys? Two,
How did they make decoys?
how did they make decoys? And three, why even bring the real phones? Why risk it? I would have those phones so far away, they wouldn't even be in the tower. I would use those decoys and I'd say, there's your phones. And then when they find out that they're not real, it's like, where are the real phones? Not in here.
Or if you're going to have the real phones, why don't you just have them better guarded? Why does she have them in a bouquet of roses just sitting there for what stupid shit was going down? Like they're in, she's in her wedding dress. He's suited up, and it's like, okay, I get they're trying to do the marriage aesthetic, whatever, to show the contrast of their relationship versus their relationship. But it's like, are you here to fight or what? Why? What the fuck? She just has in a bouquet of roses just sitting there, and then Yuno just jumps up and then takes it without any resistance. This is the same.
There they are, darling.
She was throwing knives at him like she was a goddamn a gambit throwing fucking cars at somebody, and now she's like a damsel in distress. I'm like,
I know.
what the?
Can she fight or can she not? Yeah. Oh, and then the tower blows up, and Yuki starts falling through.
And then they do the whole thing. They do the telltale situation where it's like, choose one. Who do you trust? Who do you trust more? Me or your deadbeat dad? And I went,
Well, when you put it that way,
I don't think he's going to reach out for someone's hand that like matters to him most. I think he's going to reach out to the first thing that he can fucking grab.
help me! For love of God!
like he's not going to sit there and go, like he's literally,
Yeah. So then episode 16 ends. Beginning of episode 17, it continues back to the whole falling. Who do you trust, darling? Your deadbeat dad or me? And then we get a flashback with I and fucking Marco. And Sasuke, I'll be the first one to admit, as far as the flashback goes, not terrible.
I hate it.
It's not terrible. It's not the worst, but it's definitely like there comes a point where it becomes contrived, especially that one part in that one scene where you're just like, oh, that's why they're in love. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done better without that. Like everything before that was fine.
I understand what you mean. But here's the thing. I think Future Diary benefits for not telling his story. Like when it doesn't put his hand in shit, because for the most part, that backstory was very autonomous in that a lot of the backstory, like a lot of the storytelling was told through like a montage type of format where it's like you just get music and you get scenes where there's like no dialogue really. And like that, like, you know, most of the high school story was told that way. But prior to then, like even like the initial start of it, I gets abandoned by her mom 14 years ago. Mom says, fuck it, I'm out of here. He comes out of nowhere. And I always got to think about this. You're telling me a dude from an orphanage and his, orphan mom just so happened to stumble upon someone who just got orphaned like a couple hours after she got abandoned?
They're in love.
It's fate. It's fate.
It's fate.
So
Fate Zero.
You know, that happens, which it's like, all right, it's contrived, fine, whatever. Coincidences happen, especially in these stories. But then it's like we get to the high school days or middle school, whatever the fuck it was. And it's just like how we made fun of it. It's just like how we made fun of Yuki for getting good test scores and everybody wanted to jump him. The high school bullies or whatever go, hey, she's too quiet. She's so stuck up. Let's rape her?
Damn. That escalated quickly. That was one of the most escalated scenes of rape I've ever seen, where I was just like, whoa, why did we get to this point? Holy shit. No reason, no rhyme or reason. Also, when are we going to stop inviting people to abandoned warehouses? Stop doing it. Nothing good comes of it.
The best part about that whole thing of her getting a note of telling her to go to an abandoned place alone is that she had his number. She could have just went like, what is this all about? Or she could have questioned why the hell he would write a note despite having her number. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Babe, did you leave me a message in my phone, in my locker? No. You don't want to meet me at a warehouse? No. Why? Oh, no. Someone left me a stupid... You know what? I'm just going to ignore it. I'll see you after school. That would have been the end of it.
Yeah, the good ending.
Oh my God. So terrible. And, this is so bad. You know, it's a great idea. Let's all just have our way and just have turds. And then Marco comes in and I don't know, he probably beats the shit out of a good amount of them, maybe kills one of them. I don't know. He has a knife at one point because one of them's like, hey, he's getting in on our action. Let's pull out a knife. Jesus.
It's disgusting. It's there for shock value. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's, well, the Decrepit Storm said, was that a planned thing? I thought the girls would just sit there without knowing what would be there, and the guys happened to be there. That's a fair point to bring up, but here's my thing.
I didn't even think of that.
Here's my thing about that. Maybe they didn't think that specific thing was going to happen, but they definitely thought something was going to happen of the sort where she was going to get beat up. I mean, either way, you bring a whole bunch of guys, not girls, guys, to beat up on a soul girl. You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't as severe as that, you know, because that's like one of the worst things you could ever do to a human being. Even if it wasn't that, what would, like, how far were they supposed to go when you aren't even there to supervise it? Like, I don't know what their orders were. Were their orders to just beat her up, rough her up, kill her? Like, what? I don't know what it was. As far as I know, it was do whatever you want with her.
Yuck.
That's the only thing I could really interpret, because you weren't even there to witness it.
Mhm.
You would think you would at least be there to see like it all going down if you really had that much of an issue with her. But all in all, we're talking about that, but it doesn't matter. Why it's here is because of shock value. It's here because of shock value,
And
to
show them that they're in love.
yes, and to make it appear like their bond is ironclad. They went through so much together and they overcome all of this. And that's not this is not to say that you cannot have a romance with rape in it or anything of the sort. But when the story is told as clumsily as this has to be handled with tact. This is not a scene where you can just throw you can't. No. That is very delicate. You cannot just throw it in there and then it just be like this thing. It motivates him to go crazy and he's killing, destroying everybody. And a scene that happens after that is that they're talking on the tower and she's still naked.
Why doesn't she have her clothes on? Yeah. Come on now. I mean, yeah, traumatic event. Yeah, horrible, but I don't know. Put something on. Gotta make it all the way up to the freaking tower. Naked, I guess.
I don't think that scene was handled with the right tact and amount of delicacy that you would need in a scene like that. So yeah, I'm really sour on the backstory. I understand what they were trying to go for. I don't think they really achieved it, but yeah. Going further.
Well, that happens, and it seems like it automatically just gets kind of like, oh, we get this backstory. Oh, we're so in sync. We're so in love. They get bested by these 14-year-olds. Freaking, gets fucking destroyed again. Gets beat up. There's a PA system, and Yuki's in it. Oh, wait a minute. Double cross. Yuki's not actually in there. And then goes, tee-hee, it was a ruse. Here's my knife. Slice. Eye goes down. I love how we had that backstory just to have that happen 2 minutes later.
Because it's emotional manipulation. You try to tug on someone's heartstrings, and then you show their death afterwards to make you feel bad for. They really try to make you feel bad for I and
They do that a
Marco.
lot.
Yeah, and it doesn't hit because at this point in time, it's just like it's expected. You can't. How many times can we see the same old song and dance for it to get tiring, for us to get numb to it? I will say when it comes to characters in this series, Marco and I are some of the better ones. I'll say that much. I do
agree
think,
with you.
yeah, I do think they're better than a lot of characters that are shown in Future Diary. So the things that I'm saying isn't necessarily shitting on them, but I think they just got drawn a horrible card. Like they are a part of some of the most atrocious episodes in this series. Talking about the death, Yuno slices her neck. No, fuck that. Yuno gets incapacitated by Marco. What does Marco do? What doesn't he do? Kill her. Why? There's no reason. There's no reason. He has her pinned down. He can kill her right now. Doesn't kill her.
Want to show her how much of a wuss her dad is. Because he's 14 and a wuss. Look at how much of a wuss he is. I want you to know it, Oh, just kidding.
So because he doesn't kill her, slices Ai's neck. Okay, cool. She's dead. Not really. That's for later. Um, well, before that, because Yuki shows
Oh my
up
god.
and he throws a dart at her
Oh
phone
yeah.
and misses, and that's what gives the opportunity to slice her neck. But here's
Yeah.
the best fucking part, EA. And
Let's hear it.
shout out to Lightning Eagle for pointing this out, because I wasn't even thinking about it when I seen it, because I was mad. I was so mad at other things. Yuki gets mad at and says, "Why did you kill her? You could have just took her phone."
Huh? What?
He gets.
I'm sorry, are we in a battle royale or something? Or
You're right about that, EA. But remember what I just said. He threw a dart at her phone. He tried to kill her. Yuki tried to kill her himself.
yeah.
And it wasn't like a ploy to like make her like he knew it was going to miss. He thought when he missed the dart, he went like, "Oh shit." So he tried to kill her. So
Yep.
what is he mad about killing her? Is he mad that she did it in a physical way rather than destroying her phone? What is it exactly? Mind you, I pointed this out. I pointed this out when I watched this. Yuki has killed 3 people. Has killed 3 people. Let me list the names. Yeah, because look, the chat don't believe me. Yuki has, when I say 3 people, I mean in a death game, obviously. Yuki has killed more people than that. But as far as the death game is concerned, these are the deaths that Yuki and are attributed with. Hiyama, which is 3rd, the serial killer.
Yeah.
Yuki killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Dart through the phone. Kurisu. Now, Kurisu technically killed himself. Technically. But I attribute that death to Yuki because he's the one that shot him and made him give up on the death game and made him break his phone. So assisted suicide goes to you, sir. Hojo, killer drawing kid. Killed him.
Yeah.
Tsubaki, cult leader, 6. Yuki killed her. Dart through the scroll.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Evil doll dad, that was Kurisu. And then you had the Power Ranger guy. Killed him. Axe.
Yeah.
You guys have 3 bodies attributed to each other. Yuki, you have now. Have you killed people like No. You haven't killed them in a physical way yet, but you still have killed people. Why are you being so hesitant with killing somebody who tried to kill you?
Oh, but I didn't kill anybody who was in love before.
And that's basically what it is. It's like, oh, they're so cool though.
They got such broad shoulders and just they're older than us. They smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you criticizing the one time is actually right about what she's doing? Yuki bitches and complains about it.
Yeah. It's ridiculous because like that happens. Yuki's wonderful father grabs
the best scene.
Grabs the parachute and says, "Fuck you, son," and then jumps out with the parachute, lands safely in a park. By sheer dumb luck, Yuki's mom sees Yuki's dad and is like, "Honey, is that you? I haven't seen you in forever. What's going on?" "Oh, flying out of fucking planes, buildings, parachuting. I have this knife. Guess where it's going? But I'll save that for way later." The building's coming down, and Yuki and and I are covered in rubble, and we get some of the dumbest interactions with these scenes where it's literally just, how could you let her do all that work? As Marco is yelling, it's about love. Well, I gotta save because I love her. How could you call her? It doesn't work. It's the dumbest, most trivial, fucking dumb shit that you could listen to. When all it's really trying to say, even though it doesn't come across as that way, it comes across as, we love each other. True love conquers all.
Yeah,
We love each other, and I don't know, like. This kind of harkens back to what was said originally when we started talking about Future Diary. If one of them lives, does all of 7 win? Well, guess we won't really know. Sasuke's really into the last bit of Future Diary. But yeah, it's just one of those. He's now going to save Yuki and Yuno, because they're a bunch of punk kids that don't understand what true love is. And I don't understand. I understand maybe like going for her, wanting to spend last moments with her or something or other. But the fact that he just let them off and helped them up, didn't raise it and do whatever, because he did it all himself. Opening that shit and whatever with a tube or metal thing through his stomach or whatever. And then goes ahead, gets Ai, says, you two beat us. How? How the fuck did they beat him? They didn't do anything.
they weren't even the
guys,
They weren't even the ones that caused the explosion. That was his own person.
Right. Like, oh, that's, you guys beat us. You guys really love each other. No, we don't. This has nothing to do with anything that you're trying to contribute and say. So they let him go unharmed. They give them back their phones, no questions asked. And then they go down with the building and they both die. Both Ai and Marco. The end.
In the most cartoonish explosions ever, by the way.
So dumb. Just everything. I swear, these characters get saved by their villains more than they ever do their counterparts.
That is actually true.
I mean, it's so incredibly dumb because it's like, if your main characters are so weak and pathetic to where you have to have villains save you, then what's the point of your character?
What is the point of the death
so
game? It minimizes the stakes of the death game because, like I said, it makes me go, how much does this matter to people actually?
They really don't care about it. I agree. They think it's like a coupon to Subway or something. They're just like, oh, 2 for 1 Subway sandwiches? I'll get to it eventually.
Oh my God.
So ridiculous. But yeah, they jump out of the building too. Both Yuki and Yuno. And they have their moment of, oh, well, maybe we should love each other more. That's what these past 3 episodes have been about. Love.
Yeah, they're going to work it out. They're going to be a better couple now, EA.
Yeah, they're going to be so much better. But unfortunately, when they touched the ground and landed, what wasn't better is the fact that, oh, by the way, Yuki's mom is dead. Yep. Yuki's mom is dead. And guess who stabbed her to death? That's right, Yuki's dad. What? Even though I saw it coming with the knife and everything, why did he do that?
Because she knew too much. Mind you.
Knew too much about what? Flying out of a fucking helicopter?
This is the situation. Yuki's mom knew that Kuro was with her son. I don't know if she knew about Yuno being there, but she knew about him being with Yuki. So she knew that they were both in the building. That's the extent of what she knew. She didn't know anything past that. So he's up there scrambling like she's going to put 2 and 2 together. And I'm wondering what the fuck is 2 and 2?
Right. What's she gonna find out? Oh no, we had a competition together of gentlemen.
Like, here's the
That I
thing.
groped a terrorist. What?
Because here's the thing. Obviously, he left Yuki to die with the parachute thing. But that's not anything that she would be able to prove. It's not like he was there to kill Yuki or Yuno. He went in there not knowing why the fuck he was there in the first place. They just told him to be there. And 2 other people tried to kill him and he escaped. That's really the extent of the story. I don't understand how he thought he would be blamed for anything that could have potentially happened to Yuki, Yuno, or anybody else. I don't understand that. And you would think that maybe, I don't know, killing your wife would probably make things way worse for you. But it's Future Diary. We need drama. We need another plot point. Like, we just got Yuno.
Shocking twists.
Yeah, we just got Yuno and Yuki, confiding in each other, possibly having a better relationship or whatever the sort. So we need a new thing to latch on to that is as dramatic, as shocking, as captivating as what we just showed. So we just gonna have Yuki's mom die unexpectedly to his piece of shit father that does it for no other reason than to create more drama.
Yep. Absolutely abhorrent. But hey, at least she died a cool mom.
At least I was Yuki. Mom, what? Tell me. Was I? Were you what, Mom? You're beautiful. I love you so much. Was I? Mom. Cool. Did I have aura?
You were the coolest mom ever.
Just
don't ever forget that.
Just
no. just, not even upset. Just fucking die. You think that's the only thing you care about is how cool you were? Get the fuck out of here. Just close your eyes and send up to heaven.
The Cripple Store said before that, as Yuki and Yuno are falling, he says he still wants his mom and dad to get back together, even after his dad left him to die.
Wow. That's right. You were right. Whoever wins this death game shall become God. Nah, I'm just going to do my own thing. Literally everyone's mindset.
Like I said, the stakes just don't feel like they are what they are, you know? Like, even if the stakes were just their own survival, I feel like things wouldn't be as nonchalant as they are now. It's like they're treating it like, yeah, you can take it, whatever.
No, I insist.
And I think what makes it worse is that initially they showed that everybody was very gung-ho about it. Like, remember you referenced like how everybody talked to Yuki when they were all silhouetted in that Deus Ex Machina world?
Yeah.
Like, everybody was talking shit and, good luck, Yuki. We have some fabulous findings. Like, everybody was gung-ho about it. It seemed like everybody was ready to participate in this death game. And then fast forward to now, none of those people have any kills except for Kurisu.
It's true. Only 2 people, 3 technically, have any kills. Everyone else is a bunch of chickens because they don't want to get their... I don't want to go that far. Why? It's too far away. Plus, I don't want to kill anybody. It's too sticky. My God. Who do we have left now? We have Chef Boyardee. We got Crazy Maid, Terrorist, Yuki, and Yuno. Is that it? Or is there one more that has yet to be accounted for?
One more unknown person.
One more unknown. Okay. And then that's 5.
Yeah. Because
5 people left out of what, 12?
Yeah, because we have 7 people dead. We have
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
7
piece, and then the 1.
Yeah. I Marco Subaki, Hayama, Kurisu. Who am I missing? Dog Guy.
Oof.
Who am I missing? Oh, Power Ranger guy.
Yeah.
And
the girl that really needed glasses.
No,
you were
the kid, Hojo.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 7. So 12 minus 7 equals 5, I think.
Yes, you were right. All right.
I'm glad. Well, that's it for Future Diary.
We do have a question, viewer question. Viewer question. Just one for the week. And it looks like, oh, what do you know? It's a question about Future Diary. Question for Future Diary. Y'all in Yuki's position of needing Yuno to survive, how would you form that teamwork, relationship, would you at some point develop feelings for Yuno or keep it strictly to survival? Okay, he's asking a bunch of questions in this particular sentence.
Well, I say I feel like this question is hard because I have to ask my own questions. Like, am I thinking about this from the mindset of me being a 14-year-old? Because that changes a lot. You know, I'm double that age now, so that would fucking change everything, right? So am I at the same age? Well, he said if y'all in Yuki's position, so I'm assuming that I'm 14 years old. If I'm at that point, then I'm making a lot of stupid decisions immediately. So
yeah, I'm sleeping with the crazy girl because she's giving me attention. That's probably what's happening. But if I'm in Yuki's position and I have my same mindset, of course I'm not. Of course I'm like using Yuno to survive, but ain't no way am I going to be in a relationship with her.
Yeah.
Would I get feelings for her? No, I'm not stupid. I'm old enough now to understand. What's the old saying? You don't put your dick in crazy. It's something that I've known my whole life and learned a lot a long time ago. But it's something, that obviously when you're 14, you're not going to think that. You're going to go, she's cute, she's hot, she's looking at me, she's wanting to kiss me, and she's madly in love with me. All signs of that are something that a 14-year-old would look at and go, I want it. But somebody as old as me, knowing what I know now, it's like, nope. I am not going anywhere near. So, well, yes, they're gonna, help me and everything. And we're going to be the final 2 left. And when she's not looking, shank right in the neck. That's plain and simple. And then,
Pretty much. Yeah.
That'll be that.
Yeah. I echo those same sentiments. Like, from a 14-year-old's perspective, I think I would be very vulnerable to being susceptible to like Yuno's charms, or I would probably get manipulated just trying to be on her good side and whatever it may be. Now, I don't know how I would react if I got kidnapped. Like, I would like to believe that if that happened to me even at 14 years old, that would cause a permanent rift in our relationship. I would like to believe that. I can't really give you the answer to that because I'm far removed from my 14-year-old self. But yeah. So hopefully we answer your question well. And if you guys want to ask more questions, we always have the link to the Google Doc in the description, so you can ask a question and we will answer it next podcast. Just give it a try. Even if you haven't done it before, give it a try. It doesn't have to be an in-depth question. To be something as simple as, hey, butts or boobs, and we'll answer the question. We answer all manner of questions.
Oh yeah, we've answered some very interesting questions in the past. I can't even remember like some of them right off the top of my head, but I feel like there was one. Well, I know there was multiple ones where it involved pee, and it was from a lightning
Aqua.
ruler in Aqua. Decrepit Storm said, "I wouldn't date Yuno. I would only fall in love with good people like terrorists." She's so misunderstood.
Oh my god. Yeah, she just
And
needs,
of course, Midnight said the same.
she just needs a good man.
She's fragile, and I can fix her.
Yeah.
My God.
Well,
I think that is the end of the King of Anime podcast. I dropped some links down in the chat for both our Blue Sky and our Patreon. The Blue Sky tells you whenever we're going live, and this is more than likely going to be our new permanent starting time, which is going to be Thursdays at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And it just works better for both of us. It's easier, and, you know, there's still a little bit of sun left by the time we're done. I mean, I know this one went rather long,
yeah.
but that's only because we had a lot of episodes to cover. Next week, it won't be nearly as long.
Yeah, this one was an anomaly. We had 3 extra episodes. We had an extra episode of Future Diary. We had an extra episode of Apocalypse Hotel. We had an extra episode of Rocket's Lady's Modesty. Yeah. So as far as things go, we're trying to make sure that we don't we're not streaming it to the midnight, which we didn't do this time, but you understand the sentiment.
Yeah. Yep. We also have a Patreon that I linked for everybody. Only $1 to become a member, and you get a backlog of all kinds of wonderful catalogs. SpongeBob the movie, Pokemon Celebration, Watamote, video game special, Madoka, and Drunken Podcast, where me and Sasuke talk about our drunken adventures. Fun times.
So yeah, that is it for the KOA podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys join us next Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Y'all have a good night, afternoon, morning, wherever you may be. Peace and love from the KOA family. Peace.